set, hut, hut.
As the hills of West Virginia resound with the sounds of Golden Blue football.
Almost heaven, West Virginia.
Now let's bring on the Mountaineers. Goes around about the 15 to 10 to 5. A touchdown, West Virginia. He did it.
He did it. Patrick White. Touchdown, Tavon Austin.
The Don Nehlen's Mountaineers enjoy walking in where angels feared to tread.
I think you think that these guys are going to fall over dead for you. Well, I got news for you. They're going to punch you right in the mouth. It's Mountaineer pride.
Nothing cheap, nothing dirty, but West Virginia football. West Virginia football.
We've no doubt tonight they shouldn't have played the old Golden Blue. Not this night.
They've done it. They've done it. A perfect season. And the Mountaineers, for the first time in history, undefeated and untied.
Don Nehlen and his Mountaineers, for the second time, have finished a regular season with an unblemished mark.
Ain't no stopping the Golden Blue.
It is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
What's going on, Mountaineer Nation? Welcome into another game watch party here on the CRW channel, man. Ready to see the Mountaineers take on the Texas Tech Red Raiders here today. Of course, kickoff be coming a little bit afternoon. Like I said, Steven is going to be joining me. He's on his way over, fashionably late, but, he's going to make his arrival soon. And that's why, of course, if you guys weren't here for one previously where I've been on this side, that's why I'm on this side, which is the other side of my office I use from other two YouTube channels, JC's Movies, where I do movie reviews and TV shows, and then JC's CFB, where I do college football 25 content. But with Steven coming, it's just easier if we're both just on one side. And now, especially now that since last time, I finally got extra batteries for the camera, so we both actually have the good cameras. I'm not on the looking pixelated and all that shit like I was last time when I had to use the actual webcam for the PC on this side. But yeah, Steven will be popping up, and he'll be on the CRW side where you guys usually see me, what my background usually looks like there on the channel. You'll be seeing that familiar background pop up when Steven arrives. But man, getting ready to see the Mountaineers take on Texas Tech. Crazy. It's the regular season finale already. Hard to believe. About to be 12 games in the books here after this one, but really have enjoyed these watch-alongs. We're going to continue to do them. For the bowl game, we'll probably try and do one if Steve and I don't decide to go to the bowl game. So definitely, we've really enjoyed them, and of course, we'll be back next season with them as well. So be sure, if you haven't, subscribe here if you're into this type of content. And of course, if you're a Mountaineer football fan, it'd be good to subscribe anyway. We cover recruiting, signing days coming up less than a week now, transfer portal, all that's going to be news, coaching staff news if that ends up coming up for the Mountaineers, anything. So subscribe here to the channel. And if you're watching this, be sure to hit that like button, give us a thumbs up, helps a ton with the algorithm. And you can become a channel member here and really support us extra. And if you're a big time WVU football fan, that's where you get that extra content. You can get the film reviews after each game. You can get the player grades, the snap counts, the depth chart projections, and I do game rewatches where I do commentaries as well. They're for channel members. So you can support us that way monthly, but you can always support us fast, easy, and free by just hitting the like button and the subscribe button. Appreciate you doing that. And if you're in here, throw your thoughts in the chat. We'll try and touch up on some of those here, quarter breaks, commercial breaks, all that good stuff. Hey, Appalachian Paisano is a channel member here. He knows what I'm talking about with that extra bonus content you see. And one of the other perks there, if you look on the YouTube side, he has the badge beside his name, the WVU helmet there. And he's got the WVU mascot emoji there. Those are also perks of being a channel member that I did mention there. Appreciate you as always, Appalachian Paisano, man, hopping in here and watching along with us. Chad Atkins says, pound the rock, limit Texas Tech's touches. Worried, though, we never play well in Lubbock. Yep, haven't won there since 2018. I'm worried about this one as well. Didn't predict a WVU win. I'll say that much. If you saw the Preview and Predictions podcast, you probably know that. But definitely, I had similar thoughts there. You got to try and keep their offense, off the field as much as possible. Try and run the football. as which is a strength for West Virginia, but Texas Tech's pass defense is bad. They're also, bad tackling grade there, according to PFF. They're one of the lowest, I think 15th out of 16 in the Big 12 is their tackling grade there. Yeah, 48.1. So, hopefully CJ and Jaheim can force some missed tackles, and maybe it's a game where, you can throw some plays out on the perimeter, try and get some guys involved. That'd be, good thing there. That's what Texas Tech's going to do. They're going to no huddle, and when they no huddle, they're going to attack us with the screen game, and then they're going to little sleep with that. We step up to defend that. They're going to play action hits downfield, or you're going to have Taj Brooks eat us up, who I think might be the best running back in the conference. So worried about this matchup. I think if West Virginia is going to win, they're going to have to score a lot of points. I guess I can go ahead and spoil my prediction now. I mean, the game's about to start. Nobody's going to go back and watch the preview podcast at this point, right? But I had it 45-35, Texas Tech getting the win. I think they'll just outlast West Virginia in the end. Unfortunately, it's a bad matchup for West Virginia. As Texas Tech's balanced offensively, but if they want to pass it consistently, they can. I mean, they've got 3 guys with 50-plus catches on the season. That's more than West Virginia has, with their leader is, the kind of the third place guy for Texas Tech there. So I don't think it's a good matchup for the West Virginia secondary. That's been terrible this season, but Texas Tech's defense been bad as well. So hopefully West Virginia is able to score some points. And if nothing else, we're gonna have a fun time watching it. I think regardless, and I'm hoping that my prediction's wrong. A lot of people came in the prediction stream last night there on the channel, and we're a lot more optimistic. So I'm hoping that they're right more so than I am here with this one for sure. Oh, dog's barking. Hopefully that's might be Steven pulling up, I'm guessing probably. But definitely pound the rock would be good, man, as long as we can do it, Chad, for sure. But the thing is, they have a bad pass defense as well. So if we do pound the rock, you might be able to hit some play action deep shots, so watch out for that also. Try and get the pass game going. If West Virginia's pass game struggles in this game, that's really a bad sign because how porous the Texas Tech secondary has been all season. They're actually West Virginia's pass defense was the lowest graded on PFF, but since Jeff Kuntz took over, it's went up about 1.5 points or so, and so they're actually not the lowest graded in coverage in the Big 12 anymore. It's now Texas Tech. Their coverage grade is a 49.1. West Virginia's is up to a 51.5. West Virginia's was like a 48, so West Virginia was below them, but right now Texas Tech is actually the lowest currently. Getting close to the kick here in Lubbock. Let's see if Steven hit me up. No, cool. Neil Brown, 37-34. I was wondering what the record was. I couldn't remember right off because I stopped tracking it a while ago, but that's his record right now, 37-34. A lot of people believe this could be the last game for Neil Brown. We'll see what happens with that over the next coming days. All right, but turn on FS1 if you're around on your TV, if you want to watch along. I'll provide commentary, a little play-by-play if you're not watching as well. So it's good either way, whether you're watching the game alongside in a watch party fashion, or if you're not able to watch the game, I'll give you a little play-by-play on what's going on here. And really no surprise, West Virginia getting the ball to begin the game, receiving the opening kickoff, been their MO for a while. Last game was the only anomaly. This last game would have made 18 straight, so this is 18 out of the last 19 games. West Virginia's gotten the ball first to begin the game now. Texas Tech with the kick. Preston Fox not going to have a chance to return it. It'll be a touchback. So West Virginia will start on the 25 here, getting the ball first on the road in Lubbock. Garrett Green's last regular season game there. Running out on the field. The Mountaineers in the blue helmets, white jerseys, white pants. Pistol formation. And it's going to be a play action. Fake it to CJ, and then throw it out to CJ out of the backfield. Good play design there. Picks up about 15 yards to start the game. So you get the ball to CJ, but you don't hand it to him. You fake it to him and get him out downfield with a few blockers in front there. And West Virginia using a little tempo here. We know Texas Tech's going to do that in the game. West Virginia did this some last week. Going back to it here. Going quick. They got the snap. It's a QB run for Garrett Green. Little QB power look. Gets tackled from behind. Had a hole there, but the guy pursuing him from behind grabs him. Only picks up about 2, so it'll be about 2nd and 8 here. 2 plays in quick fashion for West Virginia, 1 positive. I mean, they're both positive at least. No negative yards there, but one picks up 15. That one picks up 2. So West Virginia up to the 42 here. Hand it off to CJ here, outside zone on 2nd and 9. Texas Tech's ready, only gets another yard, maybe 2. I'll give it 1, probably about 3rd and 8 here for WVU. So 3rd and long, not where you want to be. Had a good first play, but haven't been able to replicate that success there. All right, for the first 3rd down of the game for West Virginia here, let's see how they fare. 3rd down is going to be important in this game. I mentioned my key to the game was making key stops. And that meant, conversion downs, but also, if you've got somebody putting a drive together, can you hold them to a field goal? Because in a game that could potentially be a shootout, it's all about those key stops. This is one of those first key situations here. 3rd and 8 to open the game for West Virginia. Texas Tech likes to get off to fast starts. West Virginia wants to combat that. Screen pass there to C.J. Donaldson out of the backfield on it. He breaks a tackle and gets the first down. Good job there, C.J. Donaldson right there. It was a swing pass, motion C.J. Donaldson out, hit him on a little dump. He gets through an arm tackle to get the first down. So right there, what we talked about before the game started a little bit when I was giving the grades there for Texas Tech, how they have the poorest, not good with the tackling grade there in PFF, next to last in the Big 12. That pays off for West Virginia. CJ is able to break those arm tackles, pick up the first down there on the first 3rd down West Virginia faces in the game. And the Mountaineers now moving up across midfield. Fake the toss, and Garrett Green on a quarterback power back the other way. Looked like he had a lot of room, but closed quick there, picked up about 6 yards. 5 or 6. Hey, what's going on, man? Got Steven here. The man has arrived. Hand off to CJ there. Picks up about 3. It'll be about 3rd and 2 for WVU. Let's pop you in here, son.
What's up, everybody? Hey, better late than never, I say.
Hey, that's right.
My fault, partially traffic's fault.
Am I blocking you?
No.
Okay, cool. Well, I was making sure because I finally got extra batteries for the cameras to where I can use the Canon now too. So I got a little bit different angle, so I don't want to make sure I was blocking you. 3rd and 3 here in the first quarter. West Virginia up to the Texas Tech 42. Could be 4-down territory if they don't get it. It's a jet sweep to Gallagher. Texas Tech's all over it. They lose 2 yards. 4th and 5. Let's see if they still decide to go for it. Oh, that reminds me, Steven. I was talking about before the game, Texas Tech having a bad pass defense and such. And I also wanted to share this, but I wanted to wait till you got here because I know you'd like to hear it as well. But Dom Collins' brother told me, he messaged me earlier, said I forgot to tell you, Dom's supposed to play again today. They have a few plays drawn up for him this time, and he's going to be a gunner on special teams. So maybe he'll get more than just 1 snap this week. He got that 1 snap last week. I went over it on our film review there for almost 7 level channel members. But 4th and 5, Mountaineers are going for it. Timeout, Texas Tech. Yeah, so hopefully he might get more than 1 snap this week, but it sounds like he'll at least get another one, if nothing else. Yeah. But he was open last week. I showed that in the film review. He's got those burners, 4.2 speed, and he's from down here where we are, Mercer County.
Yeah, he was open from the jump too. I mean, they couldn't handle his speed on that, or they just wasn't ready for it anyway.
Yeah, so hopefully we can see him get in. Look out for 85, guys, and he's got the burners if he comes onto the field at any point for the West Virginia offense. He got in the first quarter last week. Let's see if they do it in the first quarter this week. Or save it for later. So, man, how you feeling about the future? You think we're watching the last game of Neil Brown, or you think he's staying?
I don't know. Is it what I hope happens or what I think happens?
I mean, I'd say what you hope happens is what I hope happens, is that it does happen. But you think it will, though?
I think it remains to be seen. I think if he finds a way to win today and he finds a way to win a bowl game.
See, I think they're going to do it. If they do it, I don't think he'll be here for the bowl game.
Which might be true.
4th and 5.
This athletic department surprised me before, so it wouldn't be the first time.
True. Gallagher in motion, orbit motion. Green drops back. Slant route to Huddy. Wow.
Hudson
Pass was a little bit behind him, but Huddy should have called it still. And you never see Hudson commit and drop a pass, but he does there on 4th down. That's unfortunate. West Virginia had a good play drawn up to him too. Right there, slant, got by the defender. Green's got to put that out in front, man, and it's a big play. But nonetheless, Huddy had it in his hands. Well, listen, what I think, and I talked about this on the stream last night, is I was pretty confident leading up to this game that regardless of this result, I was going to be more surprised if he came back than if he was fired, because I was expecting that this probably was going to be at the end of the Neil Brown era, personally. But then today I saw an article about some comments from Ren Baker where he was on a podcast talking about coaching changes and kind of his strategy and stuff, and kind of made me maybe feel a little bit less confident. I mean, he wasn't mentioning Neil Brown specifically, but I don't know, just the way it kind of came off and such. I think 247 Sports put out an article about it. You can find, but that made me a little bit less confident. So we'll see, because I think if we know, we'll know either later today, Sunday, or Monday. And if we don't hear any news by then, I think Neil Brown's going to remain coach for one more year at least, which I think is not a good decision personally, but we'll see what happens.
I think with the current state of college football, if you're doing the same thing that you're doing every single year like Neil Brown is, I mean, we've given you so many chances to right your ship. Too little too late for me as a fan.
Oh, 100%, dude. Oh, dude, I made donuts. I made donuts. I got those there. And I made cinnamon ones on this side.
Honey bun donuts too, man.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, man.
Hey, we officially kept that bit going all season for all the watch-alongs. Shout out to us.
Yep. Hey, and we officially get a bowl game to do possibly a watch-along for.
But did you hear the other rumor about that? I don't think it's going to happen, but
who a matchup possibly could be?
No, that we may opt out of the bowl game.
Oh. For what reason?
The reason that I heard that would be the possibility is because if we do make the coaching change, and even if we don't, there's probably going to be a lot of transfers, and they're worried about not having a roster to even be competitive, and so they may opt out. But I don't think that's going to happen. That's just the rumor that's been going around, but we'll see. And people are saying regardless of with the revenue sharing coming up next season and such, that regardless of if we do move on from Neil Brown or not, we're probably looking at like 30 or 40 players transferring out, and most programs are going to be looking at that as well.
Yeah. Which that's not going to be shocking to see. To me, it was more shocking that we didn't have more transfer out this past season, this past off season.
Yeah, me too.
Which I was happy to see, but surprised.
Fake to Taj Brooks and Baron Morton with a little swing pass there, picks up about 4 yards for Texas Tech on their first play. Hey, I got mixed feelings here though, because I'm in the fantasy football championship in our college fantasy league, Stephen. And
sorry,
one of my running backs
couldn't hear me. The mic has been over here the whole time, and I wasn't even paying attention.
Oh, I forgot that you didn't even pull it over. Well, I can hear you fine. Hopefully they can too. If not, they can now.
Sorry about that, guys.
But I'm conflicted because I'm in the fantasy football championship in our college league, as you know, which unfortunately, LeJontay Wester from Colorado was on my bench last night, put up 40 points. And the Georgia defense gave up like 40 points as well. So that hurt me because
that was one of the wildest games.
That 8 overtime, that was insane.
Although I think I'm in agreement. I'm not so crazy on the new college overtime rules.
Yeah, I don't know about that having to go for this 2 right away in the second one, and then it's just 2-point conversions after that. Texas Tech driving, they're already into the West Virginia red zone. But I was saying I was conflicted though because one of my running backs, Taj Brooks, he's awesome. I hope he puts up points, but I hope we win the game. But I hope Taj Brooks has a good game for Texas Tech. I hate to say it. I'm trying to win a fantasy football championship here.
Congratulations to Cruz on being in the fantasy championship, by the way. It was one of the hardest fought leagues in recent memory.
Dude, it was really competitive this year. And what's cool is we've had a different winner. I think this is the 5th year. We've had a different winner every year. But me and the guy I'm playing, shout out to our friend Cooper, David Cooper. He has won one, I've won one. So whoever wins this one will be the first 2-time champion because we've had 4 different winners in the first 4 years. So we're going to have our first 2-time champ one way or the other. 3rd and 4 for Texas Tech. West Virginia looking to get a 3rd down stop. Can't do it. The receiver makes a catch despite being hit. And Texas Tech's up to the West Virginia 15-yard line with a fresh set of downs. About 9 minutes to go in the first.
Yeah, this was my fear coming into this game. The secondary matched up against these receivers. They have very much found themselves. I know, earlier in this season, Texas Tech struggled. It never was their offense. It was entirely on their defense, their struggles. But even they seem to have figured out somewhat of their issues.
Shot to the end zone, overthrown.
A little bit of a shadow in that end zone.
There is.
Hard to see.
I wonder if it's I think there's a little bit of wind there today. Probably nothing major like it can be there in Lubbock, but all right, 2nd and 10 for the Red Raiders on the West Virginia 19. Play action for Morton. Scrambles out.
To the corner.
Throws it away. Be 3rd down. Yeah, that's what scares me. This stat right here, man. I talked about this in the preview podcast. I still got my notes over here. They've scored 50 plus 4 times this year, Stephen, and one time they scored 66.
I remember the time they scored 66. We talked about that on the show.
So that worries me. That's why I said West Virginia's probably going to have to score some points in this game and this drive. But key stops right here. Could be a red zone stop here, 3rd and 10. Did he catch that?
Out of bounds, they say, but
I'm going to review that.
Yeah, gonna have to.
That was an incredible catch because he held on to the football, but we'll see if he was out of bounds. He's ruled out of bounds.
I'm not gonna lie, that was truly an impressive catch, especially for a tight end. Oh my gosh! Yeah, he was out. He tapped that foot. I think his knee hit right before that, or at least simultaneously. But man, what a grab!
That was that toe, but he might have been out.
That was elite.
That was incredible effort, though. So West Virginia with a key stop. That's what my key to victory this week was, making key stops, which was like forcing field goals like this. This is bend but don't break.
Yep.
This type of thing is going to be big in this game.
The play is going to be blown dead before the snap.
They may be reviewing this. So maybe scratch everything I said if
they didn't at least try to review it. Aren't all scoring plays supposed to be?
I think that's what I always thought. So you would think they would send it down and look at it really quickly.
Yeah, that's what it looks like they're going to do.
Yep, it's going to be a review here. And I saw maybe tap that toe, but let's see if his knee was out of bounds first, because that one toe he taps as he's going down. And it's incredible that he does tap that toe right there.
See, but he's in the air when his leg straightens out right there.
Watch him tap this toe right here.
But watch
right there.
See his ankle though. It's also on
his ankle on the ground though. Oh man, that's incredible.
His foot is parallel to the ground, sideways. Essentially, is what it looks like.
Oh, I'm going to post in the chat a link to the new channel there, the JC's Movies channel, guys. I had separated the channels, so JC's CFB and JC's Movies now. So JC's Movies put up with all the backlog, but I'm trying to build that up now. It doesn't have many subscribers since I did have it just all under one banner previously. But for those that have asking previously about this side of the channel, of course, that's what it's for. If you want to check it out there, the link's in the chat. But let's see what this is here. I think where they called it incomplete on the field, I don't know if they'll be able to overturn it, but he definitely tapped that toe. It's just a matter of if his leg is out right there too.
Either way, like I say, I obviously don't want that to be a touchdown, but that's one of the most impressive grabs I've seen from a tight end.
Did you unbiased opinion, what would you call it? If you're in the review booth, unbiased opinion. What do you think?
What would I call it?
What'd you call it? I've seen
unbiased opinion. I truly would say that there's insufficient evidence, because to me it looks like at least the ankle and the foot touch simultaneously.
But if they called it touchdown on the field, you'd probably say touchdown.
If they go with the call on the field. Exactly what I'd say.
Yeah,
because there's insufficient evidence from the.
And they called it incomplete on the field, so we'll see if they stick with that.
Right.
Taking some time here though. I mean, now I don't know how he tapped that toe like that. Like he just probably just smashed it down and was hoping that he was in bounds, and it just happened to be. But what athleticism!
Tharp, remember that name? He might be one of the next tight ends.
I was about to say, he's
over.
not even one of their top guys. You know what I'm saying? They got Conyers and the other 3 receivers usually, but
Yep.
look how tall he is.
My gosh. Guy has to be at least 6'4",
He's probably
6'5".
No, he might be 6'8", 6'9".
Compared to those other guys, you think?
I don't know. He's at least 6'6", probably.
If this was basketball and he was that tall, I'd say like
See the call here. Ruling on the field stands. So they could not overturn it. So pretty much what we said, the call on the field you had to go with there.
I'm pretty much the Country Roads webcasts. You know what the like official replay.
Yeah, every time there's a review in this game, I'm going to go to you. Like
they go to me whenever they question the call, and I give you the details on what they're getting ready to do.
So everything I said about making the key stop.
I'll lead you straight, guys.
Every time there's a review, I'm going to you. So everything I said about making the key stop still stands. West Virginia holds them to a field goal. Texas Tech goes up 3-0 here midway through the first. But that was my key to victory, making key stops. That could be one in a game that may be a shootout. But now West Virginia needs to respond and put 7 on the board and take a lead. We'll see what can happen.
I did. I manifested positivity today, and I wore GG for his final regular season game as a Mountaineer, at least. I still love GG. I know he's had a rougher season than what we would have liked to have seen, but still love the character from GG, and I love his heart. So I'm not gonna.
He plays in the bowl game. Wyatt is playing. He said, "I know, I've seen that. Did you see that?"
I did see that. Speaking of Wyatt, I watched Spring Valley last night playing their playoff game. They played Fairmont Senior and they beat them.
Does Princeton play today?
Princeton does play today at 4. Yeah, that's why I watched Fairmont Senior last night. Because Fairmont Senior is probably going to be the team that they play in the championship.
Bluefield's still in it?
I think so. I haven't checked their score. I need to check. I've been more watching the AAA playoffs than the AA. I need to bump Bluefield up to AAA though.
I always thought they, especially when there was reclassifying, I was like, "Oh, this is probably when they'll finally do it," because we always used to talk about it even back when we were in school. But it still,
I thought they were always more deserving. I mean, you can't tell me they have that many less. It always goes by the amount of kids you have at your school, and not the amount of how good your football. You know what I mean? Like the prestige of your program. Although Martinsburg and Morgantown and all those guys, it very much impacts, I guess, the prestige of their program because they get some top tier talent. But speaking of, I brought that up to say that Fairmont Senior once again has a few guys that West Virginia could be looking at getting. One was he's a defensive end and he's a tight end on offense, but that kid was good. Number 55. I'm trying to remember what his name was.
I don't know.
He was good. Darius and Dante's younger brother, finally starting to play for the Polar Bears now. Got some good size on him, so he's fun to watch, and I think he's got a good shot at coming.
Future Mountaineer.
Future, yeah. Trying to think of some other guys that could have potential. A lot of talent around the state right now in West Virginia high school football. If any of you guys haven't been keeping up, it's a really fun time to watch some high school football in this state because there's some good playmakers.
Yeah, indeed.
A lot of them.
I think it's also like we're enjoying it more now because Bluefield's had years where they're good, but now Princeton's really good. This is like the best they've probably ever had is these past couple of years.
Literally. So, I was looking at the numbers the other day. Princeton, my alma mater, the place I played high school football.
I'm from Bluefield, so we're Mercer County guys.
Right. And so Princeton in their entire history had 3 playoff wins the entire time that they had existed. And we had winning seasons here and there, but nowhere near what they're doing right now. Last year they went on not an undefeated stretch, but I think they only lost 1 game and maybe 2 in the regular season, and then went on to the state championship game, lost to Martinsburg. And this year, you would have thought losing Dom Collins and that kind of speed would slow your offense down, but they have only reloaded and done that much better and just come out and beat the brakes off of everybody.
Yeah,
they're 11-0, not looking at slowing down. They won their first playoff game.
Okay, Jaheim.
Against Hampshire, 68-9 or something like that.
Yeah, they put up 60 plus. They've put up, and they have a lot of games where they've done that this year. Put up a ton of points.
Jaheim with a nice run there.
Jaheim picks up 12 on West Virginia's first play of the drive. Did you see that stat there? West Virginia, only team in the FBS with 3 600-plus yard rushers. Jaheim, CJ, and Garrett all over 600-plus. We know last year they all three went over for 700.
Yeah.
It's possible they could do that again looking at those numbers. We'll see what happens today if West Virginia's able to run the ball on the ground that much or not. But
Fake a handoff.
Oh, try to set up the screen to Preston, and it is blown up. Preston took a hard shot. He held on to the pass, but C.J. Baskerville, we talked about him in the preview of this game, good defensive back there for Texas Tech, read that screen and hit Preston. West Virginia tried to hit that, get the first down. Couldn't happen. Oh, Vandy up 14-0 on Tennessee right now.
Ooh, Vandy, one of the most
What a year
one of the most impressive stories and best stories in my opinion, even though you hate to root for an SEC team. But
that's one thing I will say is that like the NIL and transfer portal, as much as we hate and like the conference realignment, as much as it's changed the game, that right now there is a lot of like parity where different teams are good. You look, there's like 2 and 3 lost teams in the SEC. Vandy's good. Arizona State's got a chance to go to the Big 12 championship game. Like some teams that you haven't seen be good in a while. So that's, maybe one of the more positive sides of it that we never talk about.
Yeah. Which Arizona State and was it them and BYU that played the other day? And was it a crazy inning?
Arizona State got the win there.
Yeah, what was their coach upset about? I seen it afterwards, but I haven't gone back and checked.
They were trying to run out the clock, and but instead of like running the football, they were just taking the quarterback and like running around backwards and running time. And then they like tried to at the very end, there was like 7-8 seconds, something like that, and he threw the ball up just as high as he could, and they thought that because the time doesn't stop running like when you throw it out of bounds. When it crosses out of bounds, they say it stops running and it hits.
When it hits out of bounds,
so it didn't hit until like the bleachers. So it kept running, and they thought time ran out. But then they tried to review it and put 1 second on, but they had already stormed the field. So literally, they have all the fans on the field, the coach is out on the field, and they're doing the review with like all the fans surrounding them and everything, and it's ridiculous. And then I think they had to like push everybody back, like they couldn't get them back in their seats, but had to push them back off the field so they could run one more play with like 1 second.
Oh, that is crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, I seen their coach after the game, which you got to love his spirit and his fight. If you watch Arizona play any of this season, if you watch their games or his post game interviews, that is one of the best personalities as a coach, I think, out there. He definitely fights for his team, but yeah, you could tell he was upset after the game, even though they won.
Hey, Tim Green, channel member, I see you in here. What's going on, man? Yeah, Eric, I thought that was going to be a pick six there for a second. Preston did a good job coming to the football, making a catch and jumping in front of that guy. Took a big hit because of it, but it could have been a pick six easily.
Tim, I was actually literally just about to mention that. The basketball team, man, I think a lot of people wrote them off after that first loss of the season. But if you follow the show, I've been saying, I know that they were playing some lower level teams, but I swear they've been playing some good looking basketball.
I cannot believe we finally beat Gonzaga.
The Gonzaga game, that one truly did surprise me. I'm not going to lie.
That surprised everybody. There's no way.
I mean, we've had some talented teams play against Gonzaga in the past that you would think had a legitimate shot, and they just, for whatever reason, come out and they beat the brakes off of us. They prove the difference in recruiting classes. I guess you just being realistic. They've done that in the past, but I'm telling you what. West Virginia impressed me in all three games, even in the Louisville game, going into
three straight
overtime.
OT games, and he win 2 of them against ranked teams.
Right.
I shared the stat yesterday.
Louisville also should be ranked.
Darren DeVries, 2 ranked wins in his first 7 games. Neil Brown has 3 in his first 6 years.
You're right. That's what I'm saying. And that brings us back to our point earlier. As you asked me if I what I think they should do versus what I think they will do with Neil Brown. To me, I think you've had more than enough time, especially in today's college football, to get your team in order to be competitive, and you just haven't done that. Ren Baker's proven he has, great hireability. Let's go, Jaheim.
Oh, good job, Jaheim. Jaheim is breaking tackles. Wow.
That
was
nice
all
25-yard gain.
I mean, they had him 2 yards down the field, then they had him 5 yards down the field, and he broke out both times and turned that into a 20-plus yard run. Got the jersey on. It's been good looking the away games here in the Big
I got the jersey. Who handed it off to him? Let's go.
Hey, but that's what I was talking about last night in the live stream. I talked about the men's team and the women's team, who's incredible right now. They beat everybody by 20 plus. But throughout even at the season's ending, the regular season, I'm still going to try and hopefully on the channel do a live stream once per week, and we can talk, not only about WV football off-season news, recruiting, all that's going on, but we'll talk about basketball as well in those.
Good catch, Huddy.
Oh, there we go. Hudson makes up for it with a great grab there. Picks up about 12. West Virginia is driving deep into Texas Tech territory now.
Yeah, but Ren Baker's proved that he has great hireability with other sports that he's had to hire a coach for. And I mean, hit home runs, not just hired a decent coach and got us competitive. I mean, you see it. I mean, I know it's still early with Darren DeVries, but with Coach Kellogg in the women's basketball and in the women's volleyball, I mean, we are not just competitive; we are powerhouses. And
so I would love to see
that. I mean, if you watch this men's basketball team, they look like they probably might be a powerhouse too.
I would love to see his football hire. Another handoff to Jaheim here on first down inside the Texas Tech 30.
Immediately
this time they're on it. He gets about a yard. Yeah, I would love to see it, dude. I can't wait to see what he would do with that if that happens. But we'll see. I just don't know, man, because if they do choose to bring Neil back, it's just I don't know what next year is going to look like.
I think I do. I think it'll look like this. It's going to keep looking like this.
But it's not even going to be as profitable as this year was. Like, you're not going to have as many people in the stands. It's going to hurt you money-wise. Like, I just don't know.
That's what I thought about on the way over here. I was like, I don't see a world where as many people that are threatening their NIL dollars that Gigi's going to take a
huge sack, man.
15
play action pass and a blitzer off the edge went untouched right to DG.
Gosh, but as many people that are threatening their money against the program right now and not giving the program their money anymore, I don't see how you can ignore that. In the world that we live in, and the financial landscape that we live in college athletics, you can't afford that, and especially when the situation is what it is.
Yeah, I agree. You can't afford not to make the move, man, if you want to be competitive. Right. And money can't be the excuse if you want to be competitive. The money will be there. You can make it happen. 3rd and 18, split backs, CJ and Jaheim in the backfield together. GG's dropping, looking. Now he's going to throw to CJ back to maybe the original line of scrimmage. Going to be a field goal attempt for West Virginia to try and tie this up, and a decently long one as well.
Yeah. What was a decent-looking drive for West Virginia, too.
Unravels it.
A little bit disappointing that your offensive line breaks down as much as it did right there.
4th and 11. The offense, okay, I thought they were staying on the field. Looked like they may have switched out now. Let's see if they did. Yeah, there we go. We'll see. This would be about, 46, 47-yard field goal maybe, something like that? Which Michael Hayes is usually good from 45 and in. He's usually money. When you get a little bit further than that, it's a little iffy, and I don't know about in the Lubbock wins. We'll see. This would be a good make here if he's able to bang this one in to tie it up.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see how strong was. Are they saying it was? Wow, CJ.
He's out of bounds. CJ's out of bounds on that play. Reviewing it
in real time, you don't even notice it. Wow.
West Virginia will be out of field goal range, and it'll be 4th and 18. So, I mean, I don't think you can go for that either. I think you have to punt the football.
And you see, it's simple stuff like this. Yeah.
Did you see the guy from was talking about this because I shared last night in the live stream where they're redoing the turf and I shared the picture of the new one. Did you see at Purdue where the guy thought he was in the end zone, but he was actually out of bounds because the out of bounds was colored the same color as the end zone. It was black and the end zone was black.
I've seen that.
That's why people are mad that ours is outside is blue and the end zone's blue. They're afraid that's the type of thing's going to happen.
There's a white line that separates the blue from each other that marks the out of bounds, though.
But why wouldn't they just do gold in the outside if they're
that's a good point.
Just to not even give it a chance to happen after you've seen that happen. Yeah. Well, somebody rendered one and it didn't only have the state outline, it also had the gold outline, which I really liked. And I don't know about how do you feel about the stripes in the end zone with the text on the line?
They're growing on me. I think that they're I think what West Virginia is trying to do is create
on the screen in case anybody else has seen it.
I guess for lack of a better way of putting it, they're trying to create a school traditional pattern palette, I guess you would call it. Similar to what Kentucky, they're going to call him out of bounds there for CJ. Similar to what, Kentucky does and Tennessee does with the checkers, and similar to what UNC does with the kind of the diamond shape that they go along with on the side of their shorts. Just more traditional, where they've added it back on the pants and they've called it the kneeling stripe. I believe that's the direction West Virginia is trying to go.
So here is
part of.
In case y'all haven't seen it, that's what we're talking about. That's what the field will look like next season, which we kind of expected they may be redoing it because we talked about how
they needed to
faded the paint was on the WV this season. We were surprised, but they're trying this 52-yard field goal, guys.
Come on, Michael Hayes.
And then I want to talk a little bit about.
He's got a boot on him. He can make these.
It's long enough.
It's got it. He got that. Good job, Michael Hayes.
That's
all
a dap
right.
up.
That's a dap
That's
up.
worthy of a dap.
Hey, you know what?
Tied it up.
Settle for a field goal, but you got to love what Michael Hayes.
Is that a career long for Hayes at WVU?
Got to at least be close to it. 57 it was?
52.
52. I don't know. I think he's made a 55 plus, hasn't he?
I don't think so.
Are you sure?
Not that I remember. I don't know. Maybe I don't remember him only hitting maybe one or two more that were 50 plus.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I'm not 100% sure. But with the stadium, man, I like it. I would have liked, like I said, we talked about the state outline in the baseball field and how we really liked that. But the problem with that I learned that people were saying is that apparently the logo can't go past either hash. So fans have designed some really cool ones. I was going to find like this one here. See, this is the one with the gold outline I was talking about. I really like that gold outline, but see, you can't have that logo go past the house. Just the only way that they could put the state outline in the midfield would be to like engrave it in the turf. You couldn't do it like it's a painted on logo because they can't go past either hash, apparently, which I don't know why that's.
I don't know why that's a thing either, which is wild to me because like you have teams that have literally like green turf, red turf, blue turf. You can have all these crazy looking things, or in basketball, you can have whatever on the court, which I guess is an entirely different sport, but still.
Yeah, it's weird.
Be able to see the yard markers.
Well, I think soon you'll probably be able to have like sponsors and stuff on your field in college, I'm sure.
Like actually on the field, yeah. Well, you've already started to see, I don't know if it could be considered a sponsor, but Texas Tech literally put Pat Mahomes' logo on their field.
Yeah.
With the Adidas logo.
This is one of the craziest things from this year. We talked about how crazy it's been with all the parity. But how about just in the Big 12? Last year, Oklahoma State, great year. They have the most returning production in the Big 12, one of the most in the nation, like 21 out of 22 starters, something like that. And then they go winless in conference, not a single how in the what in the hell happened this year? It's just chaotic.
I mean, absolute chaos. And then you talk about, it's a complete flop of what anybody expected in this conference this year. And I mean, I was sitting there the other day and I was like, gosh, how wrong was I about WVU and Helen? Like, a
lot of us were, man. The
coach silly about myself for a little bit, but at the same time, like that was the case for most of college football in a lot of ways. You always have teams that surprise, but I think this year more than a lot, and at least recent memory, you had a lot more teams that were picked to finish on not just lower, but at the bottom of their conference. Talk about not just the Big 12, you got Vanderbilt in the SEC. For obvious reasons, wasn't picked to do anything, and you see what they've come out and done this year. Indiana in the Big 10, BYU in the Big 12, Arizona State in the Big 12. You got a lot of teams this year that really kept Colorado, I guess, not as surprising to some people as should be. To us, it really kind of was because we were down on them. We really just didn't expect that their offensive or defensive lines could keep up.
I have Eddie Crow on them. They're good. They're a good team. I support them now. But I will say one thing though about what we just talked about with that, and us being wrong about WVU, like a lot of people were. I promise you though, if this coaching staff does return, that I will not buy into their hype next season. I will not. Don't you let me, no matter what. You hold me accountable next preseason, because this year, man, they sold us a bunch of. I don't know.
Oh no, buddy! If they rattle off 2 more wins, they're winning the national championship next year. I've already pegged it. I've already said that. I've already said that if they rattle off 2 more wins, then you can't deny that West Virginia's going to win a national championship next year. And then after that, they're going to be able to, they're going to be such a good team that they're not going to. The NFL's going to have to come calling. They're going to invite us to the league, and then we're going to play our first season in the National Football League and win our first Super Bowl in the first season that we ever play in that league.
Oh. Exactly. That's the bright side Mountaineer fan right there.
And as I say that, West Virginia gives up a big play to
there it is.
Tech off
The screen passes. I told you guys, Texas
And
Tech
gets
going to go
away.
no huddle,
Wow.
and they're going to hit those screen passes.
Josiah.
And they go no huddle right there, going quick, hit a screen pass, pick up a big play off of it, and then Josiah Trotter hits the man after he's a couple steps out of bounds, add 15 more, and Texas Tech's in business here on this drive.
It's a good joke. Hey, thanks, man. I've been working on that one a while.
He does. He has good material. He's thinking of doing a little stand-up special soon. How's that coming along? How's the stand-up special coming along?
You can tell it's not very good.
I bake food, and Steven does stand-up comedy.
That's why we stick to the Country Roads webcast, if you can't tell.
Exactly.
No, but seriously, I do. Even if West Virginia is able to rattle off 2 more wins, talking about this game and the bowl game, I don't know. I think West Virginia does need to go in a different direction. We're just not producing the way that we should. And I mean, I could sit here and harp all day, but I mean, the fact of the matter is, I actually do like Neil Brown. I like the man that he is and the character that he has, but I've said that all along. It's just not equating to wins on the football field. As West Virginia's defense is going to give up a touch.
Nope. He's made, yep. It's tackled inside the 5. Play action, deep crosser. Josh Kelly wide open. Easy big gain for Texas Tech. And this is what I was worried about with this Texas Tech offense against West Virginia's poorest secondary. And it'll be 1st and goal, Texas Tech. And here they go, going quick, looking to go up 10-3. This is probably Taj Brooks' time. Taj Brooks gets it, and Taj Brooks is going to fall into the end zone.
They're going to mark him down at the 1-yard line.
It looked like he was into me, and I need those fantasy points. So if they're going to score, they better.
I was going to say that's why Cruz wants him to be in, because he wants those fantasy points.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I hope we stop him. But if they do score, I hope it's not.
I'm sorry, but it did look like his butt was down at the half-yard line.
No,
they're going to stack him in the backfield. They're going to get Baron. Is it Baron Morton?
That was Baron Morton getting sacked there. Slew of Mountaineers. Looked like he had an option to hand it off. That could have been open, but good play there. Carrico kind of had to play on both, really. He hit the back and he was coming after the QB. Tyron Bradley, TJ Jackson, Josiah Trotter all swarm as well. Force a 3rd and goal here. Could it be a goal line stand for the Mountaineers after giving up the big play to Texas Tech? Like I said, key stops in this game are going to be big. Bend but don't break can win you a type of game like this. 2 teams with bad defenses.
And this is where West Virginia's defense is a little bit better, in my opinion, when they have a shorter field to work with.
Play action out of the pistol. Morton's got a pressure on him again, and he's not going to get it off. Has to throw it out of the back of the end zone, 4th and goal. Let's see if Texas Tech kicks or goes for it.
They may decide to go for this here. They're close enough.
Could be. But good pressure by West Virginia on back-to-back plays. They sacked Morton last time, and this time.
And good job by Josiah laying a lick on Morton after the play or during the play.
And I just saw Josiah's butt crack pop out in the middle of the football game.
I didn't notice that. Glad I didn't.
My man hit Baron Morton so hard his pants started falling down.
Doing his best Mike Tyson impression.
Yeah, Mike Tyson action out there from Josiah Trotter, plus the sack, forces the Texas Tech field goal from 23. They hit it 6-3. Like I said, key stops, man. Hold them to field goals.
And what do you know? Who would have thought this would be a defensive battle to start off the game?
So far, don't break by both teams so far.
Which only points in one direction for me. And so the second half is going to be a shootout between these offenses. Well, hopefully if one team starts scoring, the other team, if Texas Tech, I'll say, starts scoring, hopefully West Virginia can also start scoring with them.
Facts. Good comment here from Eric Flowers. He said we definitely need a better coach, someone proven at this level. We keep trying to find diamonds in the rough when one that's already polished. And I kind of agree with that. That's why I mean, there are some coordinators and some up and comers and stuff that I like, but personally, I'd love to see us get someone with experience at this level. That's why, like, I'm not gonna lie, guys, Rich Rod's up near the top of my list. I'd like a Rich Rod, a Dan Mullen, a Chip Kelly.
Well, I'm
coordinator at Ohio State currently.
I don't know if I have an actual list that I have. I've mentioned names on here that I think are not even a realistic list what I would choose of names to be on there, but I don't know. I think if you look at the history of coaching hires that West Virginia's had, we've had success. I mean, Rich Rodriguez was hired from Clemson, right? Or was he the head coach of Tulane when we hired him?
No, he was an offensive coordinator at Clemson, I think. When we got
Okay,
him,
so
right?
he was at Clemson, a top program when we hired him. Don Nealon we hired from Michigan when we hired him. Holgerson was from Oklahoma State. You could call that an upper level program, I guess. And he was offensive coordinator, but hiring from the lower level like Troy, I just don't think is going to cut it. I mean,
Would you be happy with like a Dan Mullen?
I wouldn't mind it. I'd like to see what he could do. I need someone that's, I don't know. Dan Mullen didn't really have. How did things shake out in Florida for Dan Mullen? I'll ask. Gene for a 5-yard gain there.
5 yards there for Gene. He had some success at times, but then just kind of fell off towards the end. Recruiting they said was an issue, but if you look at his classes, they weren't that bad. So I think that's a bit of a myth. But I just would like to have somebody that has experience, in the Power 5 in this level.
Right.
I like him, but like I said, Rich Rod's up there for me. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I don't hate that idea. I don't hate the idea. I mean, I'm interested to see. I'm intrigued by the idea. I don't know.
It would just
a lot of me wants to believe. A lot of me wants to believe. I think the large majority of the fan base will be really on board with it. Surprisingly, I think a lot of them have, especially since he went on Tony Cariti's show a few years ago. Yeah. They've come to more of an understanding and forgiven him for the most part. So I think over time that would fade and forgiveness would definitely happen. But for me, I'm more of the idea, and I hate it, but I think he caught lightning in a bottle with Tavon, not with Tavon, but with Pat and Steve.
I don't know. He won at Arizona too. He was Pac-12 Coach of the Year. Had them in the conference title before the scandal, and then, Michigan just was never really a good fit. But then look at Jack State. I mean, they just now made the move to FBS. West Virginia converts a 3rd and 5 to end the first quarter to keep their drive alive on a slant to Rodney Gallagher.
Yeah.
In Jacksonville State, they've won 8 straight. He's got the Conference Player of the Year. He has a running back with like 1,500. His quarterback's about to go over 1,000 yards rushing also. So, his offense still works even today.
Yeah,
and he's proven that he can do it.
But see, that was the thing about it. Whenever he exploded onto the scene at West Virginia, his offense was so new and so innovative. Like, he had coaches coming in from around the country, from the NFL, from high school, from other colleges, just to learn the offense. And that was a large part of what made the success. So
that spread option thing, man.
Yeah, but let me ask you this. If that does happen, we hire Rich Rod back and it doesn't go as well, then what? How bad's the cry from the fan base? Then it's going to be.
You got a point, but that's going to be the case with anybody. That's going to be the case with anybody, I think. At this point, but I think what you need to do is you need to go, because the way I look at it is you went the coordinator, a hot shot up and coming coordinator in Dana. Didn't really work out. It did, but you never really got to the Big 12 title game. So, in my opinion, never worked out. That's what I'm expecting. I want a conference championship game appearance at some point in the tenure. Then Neil Brown, you get up and coming head coach. You hire a sitting head coach, which you hadn't done in a long time. That didn't really work. So, what if you hire somebody that has Power 5 experience? So, those are kind of the names that I like. And then I think the one that people aren't talking about, I don't know if we'd be able to get him, is Chip Kelly. You never know. He's a coordinator right now. Maybe he'd want to be a head coach again, even though, I know he left the head coaching job to go be the coordinator at Ohio State this year. But maybe if Ohio State goes on, wins it all, he feels fulfilled in that. He wants to be a coach again.
Well, people don't leave head coaching jobs to go be offensive coordinator or to be coordinators to not be head coaches in the future again. You know what I mean? Like, look at what I think a prime example and the best example to look at is Lane Kiffin and what he's done at Ole Miss. That's
a good point.
Failed over and over and over as a head coach. And it's just being real. At multiple stops, and then finally decided, I'm going to step back. I'm going to be a coordinator, coaches under Nick Saban for, I think, 2, maybe 3 seasons, and then comes back. Ole Miss hires him as head coach, and he's got them in contention right now. I think, in my opinion, I hate on the SEC a lot and like what the media holds them up to, but I think Ole Miss is one of the most impressive teams I've seen this season. And I've been
full circle moment, though. Full circle moment with what you just talked about, because you know who the offensive coordinator was for Lane Kiffin in year 1 at Ole Miss? Richard Rodriguez.
I did not realize that.
That's where he went to when he got back into it after he got out of Arizona, was out of it for a few years there.
Yeah.
Got back in as the offensive coordinator at Ole Miss, and then got hired at Jacksonville State. Coached him there for a year at the FCS level, and then brought him up this year, and now has him winning. First 2 years in FBS. So.
Yep. Speaking of Lane Kiffin, I started off really not liking that guy. really, really not liking the man.
I've always kind of liked him. I'm not gonna lie.
His attitude seems smug and arrogant.
He was at FAU. I liked him.
All of the things that the man's been through, I can't help but love his attitude. I'm a big Lane Kiffin guy now.
Texas Tech, I will give them credit. They are one of the first teams thus far to say, hey, West Virginia's pass defense is really bad. Let's just throw the football on them. And they only have 3 rushing yards, which is surprising when you have Taj Brooks. But West Virginia more balanced, 41 passing, 44 rushing at this point. About to start the second quarter here. First play for the Mountaineers with a fresh set of downs. Trying to drive to tie this up or potentially take the lead here. Play action.
Bring
right
the
there,
left side.
outside the Gallagher. Robinson didn't hold the block long enough for the defender right there, was able to slip off of it, get the tackle after only a yard. So he picked up about a yard on the screen.
West Virginia's tried to go back to that screenplay a few times now, and every single time it's been the same result. They've gotten blown up immediately.
That perimeter blocking, man.
I mean, I just don't know why we keep going back to it.
Our receivers, I think that's been one of the differences this year, is the perimeter blocking hasn't been as great. I think that's why you see we still have the rushing yards, but we haven't had as many long rushing plays and long rushing touchdowns because that downfield perimeter blocking hasn't been as strong as it was last season. I don't know why that is, but
I didn't know that Mike Leach never played football, but you know what? I've been of the idea for a long time that there would be a lot of great coaches that didn't play football. Because not everybody has the physical capability to be that good and play at that level of football. But a lot of people are smart enough
and study the game
and have schematic ideas and have studied the game. I've always thought that. I think a lot more coaches that didn't play should coach. That might be an unpopular opinion, but I've always thought that.
Yeah, I hate that, Eric. It does seem like that more and more that when GG plays, it screens and QB draws and stuff, and they don't trust him to throw downfield unless it's 3rd and long. What's 3rd and 6 here? Let's see if they let him do it after their 2-yard run for Jaheim gets us in 3rd and 6. And Texas Tech bringing all out blitz. West Virginia was going to let him pass all out blitz from Texas Tech. They brought the house way more than West Virginia could account for. Huge sack there. GG has to take a hit there, and West Virginia's going to punt the football already down 6-3.
Wyatt missed him.
Miscommunication there. Or he thought the back was going to be in there. I don't know what. Wyatt took the inside guy. Somebody came on the outside.
It was more taking over for a missed block from.
Hope that doesn't count as a sack given up by Wyatt Milam. If it does, it's the first sack he's given up in 3 years. But I don't know how they'll grade that on PFF. Punt return here from Texas Tech.
Looked like it was fair caught, but it's not. He's going to get by the.
Oh, no, he's got room. Big return.
About
Texas
15
Tech
yards.
field position up to about the West Virginia 42, or no, their own 42, excuse me, right near midfield here.
You really wanted to get the game tied up there if you're West Virginia. You don't want to get down 10 here. If they go on to score a touchdown.
Look at that. Morton 6-6 outside the red zone, 0-4 in the red zone. What a weird stat right now. Touch pass.
Sweep.
Oh, making plays right there. Out of the slot. The wide receiver catches the touch pass, makes people miss, and it's a first down for Texas Tech. Picks up about 12. Williams. I don't like the way it's going right now.
Going to complete a pass to the left side. Going to get another 12-yard gain for a first down.
Josh Kelly again.
So Texas Tech so far on this drive averaging 12 yards a play. Only 2 plays in.
And they're going quick again. Here comes that tempo. Snap. Play action.
Drop back. It looked like a hold there could have been called.
Oh, he forced him to throw it away yet again, though. West Virginia only brought about 3 or 4, but still getting good pressure on Morton so far.
Right there in the middle. Look,
Let's see.
Yeah, is that not a hold there on 99 or on 79? Holding 99.
It looked like a lot of somebody ended up on the ground. There should be a penalty on somebody, you would think.
It's always been a hold in my book.
It was when Wyatt made that good block against Pitt and the guy went to the ground.
Yeah, that was definitely a hold, right?
They called that a hold.
Textbook block.
Taj Brooks, there he goes.
Gonna take off.
He might go to the house.
Yep, nope, 5.
All the way down to the 5.
The only positive about that is this is where West Virginia's defense has played better today is in the red zone. But you gotta, West Virginia's defense is giving up way too many explosive plays
Texas
today.
Tech doing whatever they want. 20-yard run there for Taj Brooks. Like I said, one of the best running backs in the Big 12, and then, of course, a pass offense that's killing you already. I called it in the preview show. I called Texas Tech a pick-your-poison offense because you show them light numbers in the box, they'll give it to Taj Brooks. He'll eat you alive. You try and key in on him. Their passing offense is going to get you. So
Andrew Wilson down.
Got an injury there. It'll be first and goal for Texas Tech after the injury. Same old shit is right, Timothy Green, channel member. Appreciate you, man.
That's exactly right. The common consensus of the Neil Brown era, if I do say so myself.
Same old, same old. Oh, yeah, I'm festive out here, guys. I got the Santa hat on my Michael Myers on this side of the channel. Got my little Christmas tree. Got some Christmas decorations on the Country Roads webcast. I got a tree over there. It's just not in the
Yeah, he didn't want to put the tree on my screen in view. He wanted me to be festive today. He wanted to be the only one.
Couldn't find a way to make it work on screen this year, so it just sits beside it this year. Oh, well.
Will there be a parade when Neil Brown gets fired?
We can have a celebration.
Like I said, all for firing the man right now. Who knows? Neil Brown could, like we talked about earlier, go on and in his coaching tenure at elsewhere, become a coordinator again and learn his ways or get his feet under him and become
Back
a better.
Taj Brooks looks like he's going to get
About
3
2
yards
line. Yeah.
down to the 2.
But I don't know, for whatever reason, I've always said that I like the culture that he brings. I like the style of play that he brings for the most part. They always seem to be gritty. When a lot of teams would have given up, they do still seem to fight. But like I continue to say, it's not equating to wins on the football field, and that's my main issue with Neil Brown.
That's what matters most.
I don't wish him ill will in the future. I don't dislike him as a man or a coach. I'm tired of being told that we're going to have a darn near elite looking team and we come out and look average or subpar.
Oh,
His defense catches a major break there.
The Texas Tech tight end drops a sure touchdown. I believe that's Conyers, isn't it? Yeah, Conyers. He has 5 touchdowns on the year. It's been their go-to there at tight end. They go heavy formation, leak him out in the back of the end zone. He gets open. The throw's there. He just can't quite hang on to it. Aiden Nelson in the game there for the Mountaineers in the back of the end zone. West Virginia playing some young guys. I've seen Jacob Boyce on the field. I've seen Aiden Nelson, TJ Crandall. Wildcat.
Taj Brooks, touchdown.
Touchdown. Powers it into the end zone.
The exact scenario that I didn't want to happen for West Virginia. You don't want to get down by a 2-score lead to a team with an offense that has the explosiveness that this one does.
Yep.
Especially when your offense isn't able to get any kind of consistency going yet. So West Virginia's really got to come out and do something. Wouldn't be a bad time to see that play that we were talking about earlier from Don Collins.
Yeah,
and try to go deep. Get you one back real quick.
Hey, I'll tell you what, the surprising thing to me thus far in the game is the performance of the Texas Tech defense. I mean, they've done a pretty good job for the most part. West Virginia's had a couple of drives stall out, but I mean, you got to credit Texas Tech for that. Credit to them.
Surprising to a point, but that's the scariest thing about this team is at times their defense has, like I said earlier, their defense has actually looked decent. So they're kind of like West Virginia's defense in some ways. You know, at times you're thinking, oh my gosh, they've got things so figured out, and then they come out and in the next game they'll, can't guard anything.
Yeah,
and this is one of those games. I guess they just got to figure it out.
Unfortunately for us, right?
Oh.
Eric Flowers says if we lose, he'll be the Grand Marshal of the Neil Brown Parade. I like that. That's good.
But if it goes the way that that Cruz is thinking, this could be the last game we see him on the sideline. So that's a positive we can all rejoice in, I guess.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, man. There's the one thing because they happen so rarely. You don't get to see them that often, so it's always fun coaching searches, man. Getting to follow them, track them.
I think Cruz enjoys coaching searches more than anyone.
I love it, dude. Man.
In my experience as being a WVU fan and Cruz's friend for a long time, that's the time you really see him shine journalistically. is he really gets into the numbers there?
Yeah, man.
You'll find numbers on coaches that you've never heard of, or coaches that you know of that you don't really know that much of, or think you know about, and you really don't. You'll find numbers.
Oh yeah,
numbers on those guys.
If it happens, we're gonna do a live stream or a podcast talking candidates, and I'll
absolutely
some stuff.
Even some of the ones that are more realistic, I think we should touch on those too. Touch on why they're unrealistic. Touch on what because I think a lot of people have some unrealistic ideas for candidates in their mind, obviously.
I can think of one.
I know two already in my mind, absolutely. And I don't even have to mention them. You guys already know those two names. But as much as I would love for one of them to come back and coach, it's not happening, guys. I'd love for it to. It's never going to happen.
Well, and then there's the other one that I think is unrealistic that people have been saying is John Gruden. I don't think that's going to happen either.
For one, why? Why would you want that?
I don't know, man.
For two,
I don't know.
For two, I just don't. Yeah, that's off the wall. I've even seen Bill Belichick be mentioned, and that one to me is you got a better chance of getting Vince Lombardi out of the grave to come back and coach your football team than you got him coming to college football and coaching.
Yeah,
anywhere.
What the hell? What are they smoking? Saying that
I think people just are so fed up with what's been going on. They're just ready to get. They want someone elite that can coach this team. I think that's what the main thing about it.
Yeah, which I understand that.
I do too.
Touchback for Texas Tech on the kickoff. Mountaineers getting the ball back. 10:30 left here in the second, trailing 13-3.
Come on, GG.
GG 6 of 8, 45 yards. His percentage isn't bad this game, but they haven't let him throw downfield a lot.
Virtually, it doesn't seem like he's been playing that well. But on paper, not bad, not bad so far. Just got to get points on the board.
Yeah, that's the thing. Got to finish these drives. Two tight ends on the field. One of them is Jack Samarco, the freshman, with Cole Taylor. It's play action. GG's looking downfield.
You go over the middle.
Is that Hudson?
That's Preston.
P. Fox with a big play in the receiving game. Hey, shout out to that. We've seen him on special teams, but he hasn't made a big play in the receiving game in a while. There it is. 25-plus yard gain there.
And a good
goes across midfield on the first play of the drive.
And a good grab. That was a strong hands grab.
And some tempo here.
2-yard gain here.
They fake a toss and run a QB power to the other side here to the short side of the field. But swallowed up 2 yards, as Steven said there. Be 2nd and 8. But, hey, good play for Pac-Man Fox.
Yeah. And Pac-Man is one of those guys we've talked about a lot on this show for a few years now. He's got the ability to make some really impressive catches. You just got to put it in his vicinity.
GG limping a little bit after that tackle. Maybe got hit in the shins or something.
I was getting ready to say, I don't know why you'd go QB power with GG right there. As much as they've been keying on us.
Hudson in motion. It's going to be a handoff to CJ. Texas Tech's ready. Gets back to the line. It'll be 3rd and 8.
And see, my issue here is you're finally doing some things and getting some explosive plays in the passing game, and you just go back to running the ball.
2 plays in a row.
2 plays in a row and get shut down immediately. So what's the – I don't know.
3rd and 8 for the Mountaineers. Clock winds under 9 minutes to go in second quarter. WVU 2 of 5 on 3rd down so far today. Gallagher in motion. GG's going to get sacked again. Man, this is – I cannot believe this. West Virginia has done a good job in pass protection for basically 2 years, and then today it's all falling apart in this game. It's like 3 sacks in the first half right now.
Yeah, West again off that left side.
That's on CJ right there in the pass protection a little bit, and it came from that backside after that. But initial pressure there, CJ didn't pick up that blitz well, and GG goes down. Mountaineers going to punt again, already down 13-3. Texas Tech getting the ball back and score quickly, and they get the ball after half. West Virginia in danger zone right here. A good punt from Ollie.
Looks to be a decent punt.
Oh, they hit the return man.
Was he blocked into the return man, though?
Good punt.
That's going to be interesting to see if he was blocked into him or if he just ran into him, because that looked like it looked too forceful to just be ran into.
If he's blocked into him, it should not be a penalty on the Mountaineers, but for now the flag is down.
I've seen that a few times already this year. They've had some issues with that last year, so they changed it. If you're blocked into the returner, it should be a no call.
He calls fair catch.
And he's pushing him in. Yeah, he's blocked into him. That should be a no call.
Definitely blocked into him there. One of the gunners there on special teams.
Not just carried into him. That should be a penalty on them.
Yes, no foul.
No foul on the play. All right, good. See, okay.
All right. So touchback, I believe, was the result there, though. But the bad thing is that gunner was going to be the guy that was probably going to get to the ball for us, too, because all he did was down that probably inside the 10.
Yeah. My only issue, like I said just now, I think instead of just letting it be a no call and then just letting the ball roll into the end zone, that hurts West Virginia more than it helps them. When you have a potential guy there to make a play on the returner and he's being blocked into him to negate his, what he's been able to do during the play, that should be a penalty on the return team. Not saying that the possession should be flopped, but they should at least suffer some yardage. You shouldn't be rewarded for
good point.
Like that, in my opinion.
Good point. No repercussions at all.
And that's the same thing, my whole issue with the way that the rules are changing for defensive players. You're leaving all of the responsibility of the game on the defensive player and not on anything on the offensive player. That's a lot of my issue with targeting rules and how those are.
What did you see?
They say that it's on safety or player safety, and that's not true.
That's what I'm saying, because did you not just see last night the Georgia Tech quarterback on that play that he fumbled when they were up 27-20, looking on that 3rd and 1, got hit, clearly targeting. The dude dives, hits him right in his helmet on 3rd and 1, causes the fumble. Not even reviewed, not targeting. There's just no consistency.
There's no. It's completely at the discretion of whatever referee is reffing that particular game, whatever mood they're in that day, whether they want to call it or whether they don't want to call it. There's too much broadness to the rule, in my opinion, when there could be very clear definitions of the rule. I think targeting should be, if you lead with the crown of your helmet, you hit someone else in the crown of their helmet, targeting. Otherwise, it's not targeting. They call targeting whenever you lead with the crown of your helmet and you hit somebody in the chest or in the side or in the knee.
It's ridiculous.
It's absolutely atrocious what the game has turned into in terms of what the officials do now. So that definitely needs some cleaning up. But I don't know. Like I said earlier, they say that it's all on player safety, and you can't make that argument when you have players getting injured, I would say at a higher rate in terms of head injuries now than you did before. And
maybe so.
Like we say, it's completely at the discretion of the ref, and you leave it all in the responsibility of the defensive player, and the offensive player can do whatever. I've never seen an offensive player get called for targeting.
Drum Wolf, no Brown's too stubborn to make any changes. Why it needs to go. Telling you, in-game adjustments never been a good, trait of this staff. Unfortunately, they've had a couple of games every now and then, but for the most part, it's never been good.
Taj Brooks swing take off here. It wasn't Taj Brooks either.
That's the guy they threw that other swing pass. Was it Williams? Is his name? Yeah, Williams. Yeah, they threw that other swing pass to him a bit. He's pretty fast, man. He took off quick. Just quick little screen pass right there. Texas Tech will kill you with those all day.
He played at noon today, man. One of the early games. Been playing at like 3:30 and 4.
Yeah. Well, we haven't had too many nooners this season as opposed to the year before. We had a ton of them. Taj Brooks, another big game, picks up about 11 or 12.
No, that's Williams again, isn't it? No, that's Brooks.
That's Brooks.
Gosh, one's 20 and one's 28. You really can't tell. I was going to say you can't see the difference in the number.
About halfway through the second quarter, Texas Tech driving, looking to extend what's already a 10-point lead. Quick hitter outside, picks up another about 3 or 4 yards for the Red Raiders, who've already crossed midfield yet again.
See Andrew Wilson back out there after getting hurt earlier.
We'll go ahead and take a second to remind you guys, if you're watching this, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Even if you're watching it on playback, it helps with the algorithm. Subscribe here for Mountaineer football content and become a channel member if you want to support us, where you get player grades videos, film reviews, game rewatches, all that stuff. You can support us that way monthly, but if you want to support us fast, easy, and free, the like button and subscribe button helps with that. And at halftime, we'll take a quick break. We'll throw the score up on the screen and stuff while we're gone. But we'll be back before the second half starts.
West Virginia's defense actually gets to stop there on Taj Brooks when they try to run it off the left side.
Finally, a good play there. West Virginia swarming to the ball. Run defense was a strength earlier this season, been a bit more of a mixed bag later in the season, even in this game. But there's finally a good play. Forces a 3rd and 3 for Texas Tech, and they're ready to go again.
Morgan going to try to throw here. Going to have him.
Yep. That's that tight end that made that excellent catch.
Yep. Tharp. That's his name.
Yeah, Stephen, didn't you said Tharp? Remember his name and then you forgot his name.
Yep. That's how it goes, man. And I'll forget it again.
It's okay. I forgot it too. I forgot it as well.
Yeah, Drumwolf, I agree. I think poor tackling has been a big issue for me all season that I've seen.
Well, what's funny about that is it's been like an issue in crazy ways. But when I looked at tackling grades this week because Texas Tech's next to last in the conference. West Virginia is number 1 in the Big 12 in tackling grade. Isn't that so crazy?
That's absolutely wild.
Yeah,
absolutely wild.
I was so surprised. One of the most surprising stats I saw this week. I think it's because in recent weeks it's been really bad as well. Maybe that's why it's just fresh in our minds. I don't know.
I don't know why it's such a foreign concept now to wrap up when you tackle. I don't know why it's such a popular thing to arm tackle now.
2nd and 10, Morton rolls right. Quick hitter there. Easy access throw, and he gets 7 or 8 off of it to Josh Kelly again. Josh Kelly just taking what the defense is giving him there in that zone coverage, picks up about 8 yards. 3rd and 2, getting ready to be about 5 minutes to go until halftime. Texas Tech probably in field goal range, but let's see what they do here. They give it to Taj Brooks, who gets the first down anyways.
And I think this drive more so what it seems like to me, it's not West Virginia's defense playing that much better. It's their offense is trying to chew some clock before half.
Yeah, they give off to halftime.
Yeah.
Morton, fake a screen.
Oh, they had a guy on the – oh, man, West Virginia had him in the backfield, and he just gave up on the play after he tripped.
Sean Morton forces late pressure after Morton rolls out and forces him to throw the ball away. Texas Tech have been hitting them screens. Like I said, that's what they kind of like to do there. And then they try and set you up. They tried to set West Virginia up for one there. But, hey, shout out to West Virginia not biting on it, surprisingly.
Yeah. Could use a turnover right here. West Virginia's defense is been able to get some of these in the latter part of the second half of this season here to kind of sway the momentum. This would be a good time for one of those.
Good call. Speaking into existence, brother. West Virginia brings pressure. The ball is.
Oh, my God.
You almost had what you asked for right there. Somehow it's called by Conyers.
There's a penalty. There was a flag.
See what this is.
Interested to see what they call here because it was where they caught the ball is where the flag was thrown.
He called it, didn't he? I mean, I believe he came down with it.
There's no way they call PI.
He caught the ball, so let's see what the call is. But what's crazy is when we've seen West Virginia play this season and how bad their pass defense has been, we've always said we don't know why they called PI.
Wow.
on West Virginia's decline. So first and goal for Texas Tech at the 2. But we've always said, don't other teams just throw the ball like 40 or 50 times? Texas Tech finally about on pace to do that. Morton's already thrown the ball 22 times. I mean, they're going to throw it 40 or 50 times on us. They're the one team that finally said, man, this pass defense is really bad. Let's throw it on.
I know he still caught the ball there, so it wouldn't have made a difference. But what is the argument that you can make that was PI? He didn't get touched until the ball was in the air.
Yeah, I didn't get that call. Morton on the screen to that tight end Tharp. Hey, they let Tharp get one because he deserved it after that one he almost had earlier. They're like, we're going to have to get this guy TD. Stacked formation, just outnumber West Virginia out there, throw it to him. And I mean, I could have scored on that one. That's easy. That's too easy right there. Boyce is a freshman, but I mean, he's got to know he can't try and go over that right there. It gives him way too much time to just hit it and get into the end zone. Just a mistake by a young defensive back. Like I said, West Virginia playing some of those. We've seen Boyce in, we've seen Aiden Nelson in. West Virginia playing some young players in these final few games.
Yeah, Drum Wolf, that's exactly the reason that all of us West Virginia fans should be glad that we didn't play Colorado this year.
Absolutely. Oh, after seeing what they did to Oklahoma State, they may beat us 60-0.
Oh, yeah. I started off the season decently high up on Colorado, and then after the first few games, that was when I was like, I don't know, I'm just not impressed. But they truly have. They've came out and for the most part, they've dominated their opponents. I mean, call it how it is.
So West Virginia down 20-3, getting the ball back here, and we're getting into the middle 8 now. It's about to be the final 4 minutes of the second, and of course, the second part of that middle 8's the first 4 minutes of the third. But West Virginia getting the ball back here, needing to put points on the board with Texas Tech getting the ball after halftime. I'll tell you, brother, I don't like the look of the game. I don't like the outlook. Not looking good right now, especially if you don't get points on this drive.
No, I don't like. West Virginia hasn't been a second half team this year. They've been a first half team and been able to hold teams in the second half. So.
Michigan up 7-3 on Ohio State near halftime. Vandy up 17-7 on Tennessee. Clemson and South Carolina 7-7. What else we got? Louisville 20-0 on Kentucky. Kansas trailing Baylor 21-10 in the second. That's all the scores going on right now along the country. I'm pulling up the West Virginia Texas Tech thing so that at halftime we can pull up the score and the stats on the screen for you guys while we take a halftime break here as we approach halftime. But West Virginia down 20-3, hoping to get some points on the board here as they're getting the ball back with just over 4 minutes left until halftime. Refill my coffee at halftime as well. Drink it all.
Coffee was should have been the choice that I made today.
And see, I got our backup batteries ready.
Nice.
Last time when we did one together where we both was on each side, I had to use the shitty integrated camera there that's on the PC. That's why I looked like I was pixelated. But this time we both get to use the Canons because I got the new batteries in from Amazon. I ordered them. Of course, I had them ordered then when I found that out, but I couldn't get them in time for that stream. But got them in time for this watch along, and we'll have them all next season and potentially for the bowl game. So good stuff. We're watch along ready always here, and we've always enjoyed these with you guys throughout the season. Hope you guys have as well. We'll keep them going here on the channel, even when the results aren't positive like this one has been successful. It makes it more bearable getting to chat and experience it with you guys and just have some fun taking in the game with some fellow Mountaineer fans.
It really has been fun. You know, we didn't know how these watch-along streams were going to go. We didn't know how receptive that you guys would be to them, but we've definitely enjoyed them. I know that.
For sure. All right, so West Virginia here, getting the field. Are they going to field this kickoff?
They were.
They are. Daggone, man, that hurts.
Just not what you
Clay Ash. They put, like I said, West Virginia playing some young players. They played Clay Ash, one of the running backs, in there to field the kickoff. This game, Preston Fox had been your guy back there, but Clay Ash in there on that one and bobbles it, and then tries to run out with it. Only gets to about the 10, so West Virginia will have to go 90 yards.
Well, it's interesting to see why do you think West Virginia's playing so many young faces? Do you think it's because I mean,
is that a sign?
I was going to. Is that a sign?
Is that a sign? It could be a sign of either, though. I guess. Really, depending on how you look at it. Quick screen pass to Jaheim. The pass is low, but a great catch by Jaheim.
I think that if it was a sign that he was staying, that would be more. I don't know. I think it's more of a sign that if he'd be leaving, that's playing the guys he recruited. You know what I mean?
Sure.
If he was staying, you'd think he'd be coaching to win the game rather than coaching to play the guys.
Yeah, and Preston's not injured because he's in out there at the receiver on the left side on this play. So it's not that. They're just playing those young guys. Are they going to review and see if Jaheim actually caught that ball? They may go back and call this incomplete, and it'd be 2nd and 10 if so. But it looked like he went down low and made this grab. Let's see. But see, that's the issue with – he's got it. He's got it. But that's the issue with Gigi. That shouldn't be a throw. And if he throws that to where he doesn't have to reach down and grab it, if he can just catch it right there.
Right, and that's
a first down.
3, 4, 5 yards more.
And I love Gigi to death, and he really adds you a lot in the running game, obviously, as we've seen this year as he's approaching 700 rushing yards, as we talked about earlier. But, man, I just wish that he was a little bit more accurate with the swing passes to the running backs, could hit check downs better with his reads in the pass game. And I think that's, ultimately what hurt West Virginia a little bit this season. Last year you had the element of surprise because you were kind of using a new offense, but this year people knew what you were going to do, and so you had to try and throw a little bit more, and you weren't able to really succeed when you had to do that.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You can't say that West Virginia hasn't had talent on the offense to be able to – I mean, they've had more than enough talent to be able to be better. And one thing that Cruz – released a video on earlier this year that really kind of opened my eyes to some things was there hasn't been a quarterback you can name under Neil Brown in any of his systems that have gotten better. He's inherited great quarterback talent, and they've only gotten worse. I mean, 2 years ago, last year, you would have said, if you would have asked anybody in this fan base, they would have loved what Gigi brought to the table. And then this year they try to change everything up for why? To make him into a passing quarterback for why? And it obviously doesn't work. The same thing with JT Daniels, Jared Deggy, any quarterback in his system, you name it, they have done nothing but regress. So
a little stick route to Cole Taylor, and it would have been a first down, but he couldn't quite hang on to it. Would have been a tough catch, had guys on him, but it'll be 3rd and 4. Yeah, 100%. All the QBs that he's had at West Virginia, from Austin Kendall to Jared Deggy to Daniels to Green now, have regressed. And you can find that video on the channel. Just go to the videos tab and scroll down. It was about a month or so ago. It's literally titled WVU QBs have regressed under Neil Brown's watch or something like that. But check that out if you haven't. Indeed, there's numbers to it, stats-wise and grades-wise. 3rd and 4 for WVU. Crucial play here. Green's going to throw a pass.
Catch it. Good job, Preston.
Preston Fox on a deep slant catches it.
But he's hurt.
And he is hurt now. Tough catch. Took a hard hit up to the 31 at Texas Tech. It gives West Virginia a fresh set of downs, but sacrificed his body for that one, and P. Fox is down.
Yeah.
Hate that. 2 good catches in this game, finally making plays in the receiving game, and now he's injured, which he's battled through a lot of injuries at times this year.
Yeah. No, to go back to our point, I think somebody mentioned playing Nico.
We got hit in the head too.
That's the thing. The only negative, I guess I would, maybe not the only one, but one of the biggest ones. If you get rid of Neil Brown, where does that leave you in terms of having Nico stay?
Who's to say he's going to stay anyway?
Who's to say he's going to stay anyway? But, I mean, to me, it seems like Nico's really bought into being in this program under Neil Brown. And there's been no sign of him wanting to transfer out. With that being said, I mean, Neil was the one that recruited Gigi here. So, I mean, not to say that he would follow Neil wherever he goes, but why would he? I don't know. Obviously, being the fan that I am, I want Nico here. I definitely, absolutely want him to be our quarterback.
Green with a swing pass to Jaheim. Picks up 2. See, I don't not want Nico to be our quarterback. Like, if he's going to be the guy, I'm cool with it. But also, I don't love Nico so much and see him being the, special guy that I think can, do it and maybe win it all for us or win the Big 12 for us to the point where that if he leaves, it's going to really break my heart either. Was that intercepted? CJ Baskerville, I think, intercepted Garrett Green.
Interception, yeah.
Yes. Looked like it may have been dual possession, but Gigi's throw to Hudson Clement over the middle high. CJ Baskerville picks up another interception. Mentioned coming into the game, he had 3. That's his 4th of the year. We talked about Texas Tech and West Virginia, both bad defenses, but the difference between the two this year have been turnovers. Texas Tech's been able to force them. West Virginia hasn't. That is the 19th turnover Texas Tech has forced this season. Mountaineers have barely
Is that simultaneous possession? If that's simultaneous, it goes to the receiver.
I think he had. I think that the corner clearly had it first, I believe.
Because Hudson has it there on their way to the ground. Hudson still has it.
See here. It is. I mean, they both have their hands.
Cuddy has a legitimate chance of arguing simultaneous right
if
there.
If it's simultaneous, it's supposed to go to the receiver. That is true.
Exactly.
But I thought that it looked like live that the cornerback had it first, but on the replay there, it looked like simultaneous.
Yeah. Baskerville again. But going back to what you just said earlier, I'm actually the opposite on that. I think from what I've seen out of Nico, not only in the WVU uniform, but what I've seen in his senior year in high school, I mean, that kid has what you call the it factor. I mean, he is just a proven game winner. He makes the throws that you want to see as a quarterback on time, and perfectly accurate. Not just for a quarterback, but for a quarterback his age. I truly think Nico is.
They've confirmed the interception via review.
See, I disagree. I know I'm biased, but I disagree.
I think that there's a chance that's a possibility. I'm not ruling that out, but I guess I'm not sold on it enough to where I'm going to be that upset if he leaves, because I think the portal you could probably get somebody, but I do think there's a chance that you're right, and I hope that you are. I hope that it does prove that I'm wrong and Nico is super special. But we'll see, because that's kind of where I've been out with this year, though. I feel like, with what we've seen from Nico or Garrett Green, I don't know if either one of them feels like our future 100% certain yet, but we shall see.
Well, it also feels like the West Virginia's team wins more when Nico's on the football field.
Well, you do have a point there. He hasn't lost when it's in his starts. So, all right, Texas Tech looking to extend the lead and get the ball after halftime. They're going to try and get a couple plays off here for the 2-minute warning. They've already got one off. 2nd and 6. They're lined up again. Already up 20-3, already in West Virginia territory. They'll go 5 wide. Morton, quick hitter to Kelly. Those quick hitters to Kelly, man, just little short throws to him, hitches, little out routes. They've been killing West Virginia with it. They hit another one deep into West Virginia territory, and that should take us to the 2-minute warning now.
West Virginia's defense is just not able to handle.
This feels like a team that's maybe given up. Yesterday after Oklahoma State lost to Colorado, that officially eliminated West Virginia from contention. The tiny little minuscule chance they had. Maybe that, along with the coaching staff noise, what may be going on there. Maybe this team, not really all that into this one, traveling to Lubbock.
Well, I think too, you mentioned the younger guys that are playing. I think that's just a sign. I think that West Virginia, from what I'm seeing right now, I don't think West Virginia came to Lubbock to win the game. I think West Virginia came to Lubbock to play as many guys as they possibly could in a West Virginia uniform today. And then again, that even makes me more frustrated, because if that's your game plan, why aren't we seeing Dom Collins out there on the field?
Yeah, I'm still waiting to see that this game.
Because I mean, it's not just. I don't know if you guys have watched any of Dom Collins on film, but it's not just because he's a hometown kid that we root for. But I'm telling you, this kid is. I mean, he's got Tavon level type speed. I mean, he is an elite level receiver, and will be.
While I 100% agree, Dom Collins is going to be special, guys, and I'm glad he maintained his redshirt to be a redshirt freshman next year, because it seems like they're really going to use him, which is great, and I hope he gets involved in the return game. But I wanted to mention UCF lost to Utah last night, right? So West Virginia's wins this year, which 6-6 going to a bowl game, awesome. But our wins: 4-8 UCF. 4-7 Arizona, 5-6 Cincinnati, 5-6 Kansas.
Same old story. If you're Neil Brown, you beat the teams that aren't good, and you lose to the teams that are even average.
I mean, it's almost, you could chalk it up, and that's why I mentioned in my prediction this week when I predicted Texas Tech to win this game, that it's a team with a winning record. Regardless of if Texas Tech wins or loses this game, they were going to finish the season with a winning record. So I was like, we're probably not going to win, because Neil Brown doesn't beat teams with winning records. Right. It's just It just does not. And yet again, that proves again this season, unfortunately. And you look last season, and it was a down year, and a lot of teams that we beat, records were bad. I just got to hope that Ren Baker is seeing a lot of these things that we've all been pointing out as a fan base throughout the weeks, and continuing now with this one. I mean, I don't see how we can ignore this stuff, guys.
Well, I mean, and then
this is the end of an era. I mean,
what did we spend all last year up to the Texas Tech game saying, Cruz? Who had he not beat the whole time he'd been in the Big 12 conference? Texas Tech. And you come right back out this year, and you're struggling like this with them.
Well, and the one time that he did beat them was in Morgantown, and it was rainy. Texas Tech couldn't really do what they usually like to do on offense conditions.
So it was like you have to beat them that day. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And now same on. We just haven't won in Lubbock since 2018. Looks like that streak may continue right now, unless West Virginia really wakes up and completely changes things. 20-3, Texas Tech driving, 1st and 10, handoff to Taj Brooks. He gets about 3 or 4. As the clock winds under 2 minutes now until halftime, Texas Tech gets the ball to start the second half as well. Keep that in mind.
I think Timothy Green's got the right idea. Well, let's talk some more about basketball.
Hey, that's right. Hey, we are going to be positive about basketball and talk basketball, Timothy. Appreciate you always, this channel member there, Tim Green. You're awesome dude, Tim. Always appreciative of you, but definitely, man. Okay. That's what I told people in the live stream. I said we're going to try and still do a live stream every week, and we will talk basketball as that season progresses as well.
Yeah.
The women play today at 5, by the way. I believe Boise State.
Men have another. I'll tell you what, this early season for the men's basketball team usually have a lot more of those smaller school games that you play.
There's Dom Collins right there behind Neil.
Yep. There he is.
Which I think after this game, West Virginia plays 3 smaller schools. After this next game,
they play Georgetown Friday.
After they play Georgetown, then it's just 3 smaller schools. So if they can find a way to win against Georgetown, they should win those 3, and they could go into conference play at like 9-2, which would be awesome. Because then you can win. That's what I mentioned yesterday. Is if you can win 8 or 9 conference games, then you're probably in the tournament.
Yeah. And this earlier part of the season is really interesting too in terms of the matchups for me because obviously you played Arizona yesterday, beat them, who didn't count as a Big 12 game, not a conference game, because this preseason tournament was scheduled before Arizona joined the conference, and then obviously it's a preseason tournament, so it wouldn't count anyway. But you have that game for the resume. With a technical future conference opponent, and then you also have the Georgetown game coming up this week. That's a Big 12, Big East battle, which is an old school matchup with West Virginia and Georgetown being in the Big East. But then you also played Louisville a few days ago.
Taj Brooks up the middle.
Going to take it all the way up to about
he breaks the tackle with the 10. Taj Brooks is going to go in for a touchdown.
West Virginia's defense just completely gave up on the play.
Taj Brooks could have been tackled 2 or 3 times, just would not be denied.
for those fantasy points that he just got, but
it's good for my fantasy team, bad for us as Mountaineer fans. 27-3 Red Raiders.
It was already sealed for me, but if you're Ren Baker, you're still on the fence. This game right here should seal the deal for Neil Brown and his coaching staff and being in Morgantown in the future. This is completely unacceptable if you're a Mountaineer fan.
Yeah, 100%. But back to the basketball discussion for a second, because I think that those wins are big.
They're going to go for 2 here.
They go for 2 and get it. 28-3. Texas Tech goes for 2. The tight end Conyers runs it in. 25-point lead now, 28-3, and I don't see Tom Brady on the field for the Mountaineers as they trail 28-3. But Gonzaga is going to definitely be a quad 1 win at the end of the season. It's going to help your tournament resume a lot, and then you get the other one as well.
Yeah.
I saw them line up in that formation earlier, they were lining up like this and then motioning into their PAT, and I thought that was kind of odd. And this time they line up like that and then just snap it really quick, flip it out to the tight end. Interesting trick play, but get you a extra point there, get 2 instead of 1, and they go up 28-3. Last game of the regular season. I guess you don't hold stuff back. If you got that right there and you ain't called it all year, I guess you call it.
Yeah. No, but I really do like what I see out of this basketball team. I'm going to keep talking about them because it's the only positive thing right now. They've come out and truly impressed me this year. I know it's a completely new roster, but they don't look like it. They play like they've played together for a while now. Like Tucker DeVries, like Javon Small, Amani Hansberry.
That three right there, that's a deadly trio. And what I think people also need to remember is we still have Jaden Stone. Hasn't even got to play yet. He's been out with injury. He averaged 20 points per game at his college last year, Detroit Mercy or whatever it was.
Well, that's what truly impressed me yesterday was whenever Tucker was out for a little while there. I think what Darren was trying to do was trying to save his minutes because one thing that Tucker's going to go through this year, guys, is we're going to watch him get in foul trouble a lot. The style of defense that he plays, it's just going to happen. It's just the reality of it. But I think what impressed me the most is West Virginia still seemed to play just as well with him off the floor as they did with him on the floor.
Well, shout out to them bitch being Lions. Hearts of Lions in that because 3 straight days, 3 straight games, 3 straight overtimes. West Virginia's 5 starters played over 100 minutes over those 3 days and won 2 of those 3 games.
Usually don't see that type of stuff. I don't know if you ever see that type of stuff, but that would make more sense in conference tournament play rather than preseason tournament.
Oh my goodness!
West offense just cannot.
West Virginia tries to set up a screen to Gallagher, and man, every screen they've tried to throw, the blocking is not there. This team does not look like they're into it. The perimeter blocking is not there from guys that are usually good at it. This is Cole Taylor and
double
Hudson
team block at that with Hudson and Cole both missing.
That's what I'm saying. Hudson and Cole, and both those guys are usually good. 2 of your better perimeter blockers, man. I just don't know if this team's heart's in it right now.
And I think the main thing that I seen on that made him miss that was Cole just lollygagged out there to block the guy. Jaheim going to get a 5-yard gain.
Jaheim picks up 5 on a swing pass. He's been one of the only bright spots in the game so far as he's made some good plays. There he hurdles a man and then takes a hit, but picks up about 5. So that's about 3rd and 8 for West Virginia. But, man, overall, just not a good performance. West Virginia only 30 rushing yards in the games thus far. I think, of course, sacks have taken away a lot of the good positive plays they've had in the run game, but not a recipe for success for West Virginia, obviously. And being down 28-3, not where you want to be when you're a running team. West Virginia either. Neither is being in 3rd and long and 3rd and 9. And with 62 seconds left till halftime, down 28-3, West Virginia's in 3rd and 9.
West Virginia going to try to go deep. Going to get
fumbles. And
Texas Tech recovers. My Lord Almighty. When it rains, it pours.
GG had time, then tried to escape the pocket, got hit from behind. The ball's knocked loose. Texas Tech recovers, got a chance to go up 35-3. 51 seconds till halftime, and they get ball after half.
Texas Tech has 3 turnovers in the first half. 4 maybe? What is that? What is that now?
2.
You get
2 or 3, right?
I think it's at least 3 because you had an interception. You had 2 interceptions and the fumble there.
Did he throw 2? I thought only threw 1.
Maybe it was only 1.
Either way, multiple turnovers in the first half. And that one's big right there because that could be the nail in the coffin. And not only the nail in the coffin of this game, ladies and gentlemen, this guy may be the end of an era. I was kind of feeling it either way, regardless of this result. But with this type of performance, I don't know if you can come back from this at all.
No. And with this type of performance also, like you mentioned earlier, this leaves, who sits out of the bowl game, who transfers out, before the bowl game, leaves a lot of that up in the air even more so now. So this isn't what you needed for West Virginia.
Chad Atkins says it best there. Time for change. 6 years of this, no good results. Time to get some good results. Let's make it happen after this game. I agree. 33 seconds to go. Texas Tech gets a first down and gets out of bounds. They have 1 timeout left to work with in these 33 seconds, trying to tack on to what's already a massive lead. From the West Virginia 22, Morton is going to scramble out. He's going to try and get to the sideline. He's got just enough speed to do it. Gets about 3 yards. That may be holding, if we're lucky.
If we're lucky.
25 seconds to go till half. It is holding, so that helps. West Virginia may at least be able to hold Texas Tech to a field goal here. Hopefully, knock on wood. But like I said, 25 seconds till half. We're going to remind you guys we're going to take a break at halftime. We'll throw the score up on the screen and some of the stats. You guys that are in here live, if anybody else pops in, ask where we are, be sure to let them know. We'll be right back before the second half starts. But appreciate all you guys in here. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Not a good result for the Mountaineers thus far, but hey, we're having fun chatting with you guys and taking in the game with some fellow Mountaineer fans.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you would have told me before this season that West Virginia would be sitting in this game 6-5, I would have laughed. I truly would have laughed. And that's the embarrassing thing for me is is you have so much confidence in what you've seen in this team.
Oh my goodness, Taj Brooks gets loose out of the backfield as
Get
a
all the way down to the
receiver.
2, maybe even the 1.
Down to
depending on
the
where they mark.
2, we have 1.5, 2-yard line with 13 seconds. They can run up and clock this probably and save their timeout still. Let's see if they do it. First and goal, the clock's going to start as soon as they set these chains. 13 seconds still. Clock hasn't started. There it goes. 12 seconds.
10 seconds.
West
Timeout.
West Virginia takes a timeout. I don't understand that. I mean, I guess you thought maybe you're going to give up a touchdown. They're going to hand it to Taj Brooks for a touchdown there. But I mean,
you basically let them. You're basically giving them time to formulate a plan here.
Taj Brooks having a great game, catching the ball there. And, of course, he's already got 2 touchdowns rushing, 91 yards. That's one thing they've been doing in recent weeks. They haven't done it a lot all season, but the past 2 or 3 weeks, been really doing a good job getting him involved in the passing game as well, using him, going through the progressions there. Baron Morton does a good job of that and then comes to his check down, and Brooks is wide open for a huge gain. And Texas Tech may go up 35-3 here before halftime. And like I said, Texas Tech's doing what we said other teams should do, throw the ball 40 or 50 times against West Virginia. Morton's nearing 30 pass attempts here in the first half. He's 20 of 28 for 240 yards already. I mean, that's smart coaching. You've seen how bad West Virginia pass defense has been all season. That's what I'm surprised more teams didn't do. But last game of the regular season, some teams finally doing that and throwing the ball around. And that, of course, is the Red Raiders. But Taj Brooks having a great game as well. Let's see if they go to it here on first and goal. Yep, he's in the Wildcat. Taj Brooks out of the Wildcat.
Right side, touchdown.
He's going to get into the end zone. Touchdown, Texas Tech. So that time out ends up being pointless from Neil Brown and company there. 35-3, Texas Tech over the Mountaineers in the first half. And this one you can probably say is over already. But
like you say, I don't understand at all the plan there with taking that time out. If anything, like you're giving your defense a plan, but you're giving their offense more time to figure out a plan.
Taj Brooks.
It points to me that you don't have confidence in your defense, and why would you? I know that, but
Taj Brooks, 3 first half touchdowns. He's beaten West Virginia 21-3 on his own. Nine seconds till halftime. West Virginia will probably field the kick and take a knee. Would be my guess here.
Yeah, Chris Mitchell said they've got the ball at the 50 almost every single possession. Field position, man. And then I'd hate to see West Virginia's average field position. Probably the 25 because of touchbacks.
Well, not what we wanted here, outcome-wise, but what can you do?
I like to think of these seasons as the ones that prove how loyal you are to the fam or to the program, though.
Indeed, we'll be here all 60 minutes, regardless.
I'll tell you what, I've proven my loyalty a lot over the past 6 seasons.
Yeah, likewise, brother. I mean, it's surprising because, we've really had to endure it because what's funny is we started the podcast the year before the Neil Brown era started. We started in 2018, so we've literally endured it the entire time covering the team throughout the 6 years. It's been a lot of painful moments. Indeed.
It's wild to believe that we've had the podcast that long. We started this as a show because we just wanted to talk about it and not get on everybody else's nerves. I guess that was the reason I really wanted to start it.
Likewise, man. West Virginia's going to run a play here. 5 seconds to go till halftime. They'll just hand it off to CJ. He'll get outside, get a few yards.
And see there, why don't you just take a knee? If that's all you're going to do, why not just knee and
build the stats up, man? Then why Neil Brown, at the end of the game can have his rushing numbers to write home about and his stuff to sell to everyone trying to keep his job, which I believe that ship is sold personally at this point. But nonetheless, that's halftime, guys. Yep. I'm going to throw the throw the score up on the screen here along with some of the total yard stats and such. And we'll be right back. If anybody pops in the chat, let them know. We'll be back before the second half starts to give you guys play-by-play for the second half. But 35-3, not a good first half for the Mountaineers. Maybe already over, but we'll be here for you for the rest of the game regardless, guys. And hopefully maybe the Mountaineers can just perform better in the second half.
We'll all just hang out and have a good time. We'll
have a good time with you guys.
We'll enjoy the fact that, like we've been saying, we'll enjoy the fact that hopefully this just means that it's Neil Brown's last game as head coach.
Told you guys to be back before the second half started. I got to switch out my camera battery real quick. But we're here. My camera battery died. I'm probably going to switch yours out too, but if you want to go ahead and unmute your mic here. Still one on sound died.
We back. Crew's gonna switch out a camera battery real quick.
Did we kick off yet?
Yep, kicked off. Looks like a touchback.
Mine died. One of yours about to die too. That's good. Try out these new batteries. They're different brands.
Back. We back.
Hopefully they have same battery life. All right, let me get this off the screen. We back, guys, just in time.
All right.
Got the first down for Texas Tech. All right.
Gonna go 3 wide out to the left for Texas Tech here. Hand it off to Todd Brooks.
Todd Brooks, who had a great first
Immediate
half.
8-yard gain.
And that puts him, I think, right near 100 yards already. Texas Tech up 35-3, looking to add on to the lead to start the second half. Start off with a 7-yard gain. See if West Virginia's made any adjustments, which unfortunately is something they struggled with, that actually put Brooks right at exactly 100 yards. But then he stuffed on second down.
Rare good defensive stop for West Virginia today.
Force it, 3rd and 3?
Most games with 100-plus yards in the FBS since 2023. Taj Brooks with 19 over Ashton Gianti with 18.
Brooks is nice, man.
How Taj
said it all
Brooks, how good
season.
He is.
And back to Brooks, who's going to get the first down and more. But is that a flag or was that somebody's mouthpiece? I think it might have been a mouthpiece.
I didn't see.
No, okay, it's first down. Yeah, it's a mouthpiece, then, I believe. I appreciate you. I see Matt Dixon here now. It's Not Okay Golf, Charlie Brown, a lot of others. Appreciate you guys hopping in there.
Absolutely.
As well during halftime while we're taking our break. Back here for the second half. No, it's not a good result for the Mountaineers, but hey, positive side, as we were talking, is this has got to be the end of the Neil Brown era. I don't see how you go to a 7th season after seeing this, man. It's got to be.
Yeah, to cap off your regular season losing like this, I don't know how you could go any other direction than to fire him. You want to tell the audience what little scenario you told me in there?
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is hilarious, guys. Because if you think about it, you remember when Rich Rod left, and then of course Bill Stewart was the interim coach, beats Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl, ends up taking over as head coach. What if we fired Neil Brown before the bowl game? You know, Oklahoma's 6-6. We're going to be 6-6. We could play them in the bowl game with who was our interim coach, Blaine Stewart, and then not only you bring Blaine Stewart as the interim coach, you go play Oklahoma in the bowl game, but then you bring in Rich Rod after that, and you make it full circle. You break the curse. West Virginia hasn't been as great since then. You bring West Virginia back to glory. Boom.
You got to love the way the guy thinks, right? You get those wheels turning.
You never know. You never know what you can come up with.
Oh, man.
Fresh set of downs for Texas Tech after the conversion and they cross midfield, already at 35-3. But hey, we got to talk about some fun stuff here to keep it entertaining when it's slaughtering like West Virginia's taking here in the
I wouldn't be mad if that happened.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at Blaine Stewart
totally
and Dix as the interim coach, because I think if you do get rid of Neil Brown, I don't see him being around for the bowl game personally.
I'm on board with firing him this weekend.
Yeah, I think that's when we'll hear about it, is today, tomorrow, or Monday, if it does happen, which hopefully it does. I mean, at this point, I think most of the fan base would agree about that point.
Yeah. That only gives you more time in terms of a coaching search and puts you in a better position and getting a better candidates in the door, you know.
Oh, Tennessee with the touchdown. Finally got the lead on Vandy, looks like.
I was told to turn the Michigan-Ohio State game on as soon as possible, so I'm going to go.
I'll do a score check here. I'll pull up the scoreboard for us, too, so I can keep you guys updated on those here, at least for the noon games, obviously. We won't be on for the rest of the day, but at least throughout the noon slate here while West Virginia plays. Flag on Texas Tech's 3rd and 10 play here.
Looks like a false start, usually the way that flag is.
Clemson 14-7 on South Carolina. Michigan, Ohio State's 10-10 in the third.
A lot of good games going on around the country today. Unfortunately, West Virginia just isn't one of them.
Baylor's beating Kansas as well, 35-10. Third and 5 after the penalty there on the Mountaineers gives Texas Tech 5 yards, makes this a little bit more manageable. They're coming out 5 wide here. Josh Kelly's killed the Mountaineers earlier throughout the first half and on. See if they go back to him here. He's in the slot there. Nope, but they go to the other slot man and stick out on the other side for a first down, and he avoids a tackle and gets about 5 more up to the West Virginia 30. They go to Douglas that time. He's one of their other leading receivers. Didn't get to see Caleb Douglas a lot in the first half, but he has over 700 yards receiving on the season. They go right back to Douglas again. And Douglas again forced a missed tackle. Anthony Wilson can't make the tackle. Douglas is gone.
I mean, West Virginia's defense just isn't. I mean, they're not trying. There's no effort at all. I mean, and it doesn't help that and like I said, they've done a good job tackling all season up until the past few weeks, and especially in this game, it's really reared its head because that's just missed tackles, back-to-back plays actually on Douglas, just simple stick routes. The play before you miss a tackle, but you had enough guys to rally. That time, Anthony Wilson misses the tackle, and nobody's there once he misses it, and it's a touchdown. 42-3. Texas Tech is up on WVU. Hey, I had Texas Tech scoring 40+, but I didn't have them doing it in just a little over 2 quarters. I thought West Virginia's offense would play better as well. I didn't expect it to be quite this bad. This is just sad.
Well, let's hope Neil Brown uses his milk offense where he milks the clock down because I don't want to see Texas Tech's offense on the field that much more because they're just going to score every time they touch it. They're doing whatever they want. So see how much of the clock Neil Brown can burn and what may be the final game of his WVU career, guys.
What we can only hope.
Indeed. Now, what else, man? What else is going on?
Hey, we got baseball coming up. Too. Baseball team's intriguing because, you got Randy Mazey who, basically built the program from, I don't want to say the ground up, but I mean, let's call spade a spade. He built it from the ground up and made what WVU baseball is today. But he retires after last season. And so Sabins, what is his first name?
Steve Sabins.
Yeah, is going to take over, but also, worked under Randy Mazey for a good amount of time and very vouched for by Randy Mazey. So I'm excited to see what he's able to do. West Virginia's baseball team, I'm sure a lot of you guys have been following it, but if you haven't, they, 2 years ago, they hosted their first regional game for the playoff or for the NCAA tournament in baseball. And then last year they finally, they won, I'm pretty sure, their first tournament games and made a pretty significant run in comparison to what we've done in the past in those tournaments in baseball. And J.J. Weatherholt, one of the top prospects in all of college baseball last year, gets drafted to the St. Louis Cardinals, which I loved because I'm a Cardinals. Used to be a Cardinals fan. I can't say that anymore. I haven't really followed pro baseball in quite some time. But really cool to see the program doing that well. College baseball is fun to watch too.
Yeah, I've never really watched baseball. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I don't know if I've ever really sat down and watched a baseball game from beginning to end. I've seen highlights and stuff, and that's why I've always kept up with stuff. But I've never really, I cheered on for WVU and kept up with the scores when they were trying to make that run the past couple of years. But I've never really been able to watch a game. I tried to watch one of theirs, but I only made it through a couple of innings. I just can't get into baseball personally. But that's just me.
Yeah. I don't know. I was like you for a while, but I don't know. For me, if it's WVU, I can watch just about anything. So whenever the baseball team started playing well a few years ago, I really got into, and especially that's the one of the positives about something like ESPN Plus is now you can watch the baseball team a lot more than you could previously to that, being in place.
Same with WVU soccer. I was watching them some. I do enjoy watching soccer. I think soccer's a fun sport to watch because it's pretty much nonstop. West
Virginia's got a hockey team, but I wish their hockey team was actually affiliated with the university. I think it's more of a club sport at WVU. But still, they do very well for what they go up against.
As Matt Dix mentioned, WVU women play today at 5. Yeah, we talked about that earlier, Matt, and talked about it in the live stream yesterday. WVU women, awesome. If you want to watch something really good, watch them play today. Semifinals of the tournament they're in against a good Boise State team. West Virginia women's beat everybody by 20 plus. We'll see if they can keep that alive.
Ooh, they go with Nico and
shout out
Green on the same.
Shout out to who was it? Tim. I think it was just channel member Tim Green in the chat. So why don't they put them both on the field at the same time? They have done it in the past and it hadn't worked out. They do it again there and it doesn't work out yet again, unfortunately. But they're every now and again they have put them both on the field at the same time. They try to pull it out there, doesn't work. Hand it off to Nico, try and let him throw it, but it goes incomplete, 2nd and 10. But
you got Nico over there limping around on the sideline now too. Might have hurt his ankle. That's not what you want to see.
Second and 10 for the Mountaineers here. 12 minutes and some change here to go in the third. Already down 42-3. Their fate probably sealed, but let's see if they keep fighting. Play clock winds down to 1 second. They just get it off, hand it off to Rodney Gallagher out of a full house diamond high school. Yep, nothing. Loses 2, as Steven says there.
I don't know if we've seen West Virginia's offense play this bad all season long. I mean, this is
against what has been probably the worst defense in the conference. So what else do you need to sell you if you're Brent Baker that it's time to make a move? I mean, the stats we've said all season, and then you have this type of performance at the end of it, potentially at the end of that era.
They're going to rattle off a first down here past to Justin Robinson over the middle.
Good catch by Robinson on a deep end route there. Gets about 13 on 3rd and 11. West Virginia does convert at least there and at least keeps this drive alive. Good. Milk that clock. Like I said, let's get this thing over with. No, Garrett's in, James. They just brought Nico in for a play and had them both on the field together.
Nico is limping around on the sidelines, though, so I hope he's okay. That's not definitely something you don't want to see is him get hurt.
WVU drops the throw again on 1st and 10. CJ out of the backfield. Gets about 6, maybe 7 yards. Good gain on first down, at least for the Mountaineers, who are approaching midfield now. 2nd and 3. Yeah, Matt Dix, I talked about that in the live stream yesterday. That's what I've heard as well about the firing. But I think that the bowl game thing's more of a rumor. I don't know if we'll really opt out of it. I've heard that also, but it's definitely something that's going around. Sometimes where there's smoke, there's fire. So we'll see. I do think I'll move on from Neil Brown, but I'd be surprised if we opt out of the bowl game just because of the potential payouts and such. But if they do it, it will be, as you stated, all the transfers and maybe not having the roster to be competitive in it. But we'll see what happens.
I was going to say, I can't see a world where if we have the roster that's, able to do it, I don't know why we would turn those dollars down.
Yeah. Hey, what's up? See my dad in the chat here. Yeah, sucks, Dad. Got to be the end of this era. I think that's what everybody's in agreement of right now. Is hopefully this is the last game of the Neil Brown era, especially with it being this type of performance to close it out.
Gonna get a first down. I think it was CJ got the handoff there.
I believe it was.
It was.
CJ picked up 3 or 4 there on 3rd and 1. Mountaineers to midfield. About 10 minutes left in the third now. Only West Virginia's 10th first down of this game. Texas Tech already has 22. West Virginia being outgained 409 to 146. Play action for Green here. He's looking deep downfield.
He overthrows him.
Nowhere near Hudson Clement, who had a little bit of a step there. It was inside of the defender, but Green nowhere near. He threw it up the field. Hudson Clement was coming across the field. Had no chance on that one. 2nd and 10. All right. From midfield, 2nd and 10. Hand it off to Jaheim. Tries to make a man miss at the line. Carries him for a couple, but that's it. About a yard or 2. 3rd and long. Texas Tech's got a man down right here.
I don't know if he hurt is it his leg or his head?
I can't tell.
He's like tapping his head. He's like,
the way he's limping.
I really hope he's okay. That looks, that was strange.
Yeah, very. I think it was maybe got hit in the shin or something, but you're right. It did look like woozy at the same time.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt Dix, that's who I said earlier was Chip Kelly. Go after him because I want an established guy. We were talking like Chip Kelly, Dan Mullen, Rich Rod, someone that has experience, as like a Power 4, Power 5 level coach. Swing pass to Jaheim out of the backfield. And, man, every time we've tried our swing passes or screen passes, the blocking is just not there. This team –
and they keep going back to it. I don't understand why we just keep going back to the same play that it hasn't worked.
I mean, in their defense, these are some plays that we've done, and when the blocking's there, it looks good. But if those guys aren't hard and they ain't going to block, what can you call?
Right. I mean,
it's sad to see West Virginia in the state right now, man. 4th and 8, West Virginia's going to go for it down 42-3, right around midfield. Cole Taylor motions in, gets some extra protection, but the pressure is on GG on an all-out blitz. He makes a miss, but he's not going to get to the marker. Tackled from behind after a gain of about 4, needed 8. West Virginia's going to turn the ball over on downs. 42-3 could become even worse here. This may get very, very ugly. It's already ugly. Who knows how much uglier it can get. But this is just not a good performance from the Mountaineers. And not only the nail in the coffin for the game already, but as I mentioned, feels like the nail in the coffin of the Neil Brown era.
It very well should be. Very well should be.
Yeah, you can't go into 7th season of this, man.
I don't know how much you can take of this. I mean, if anything, you're regressing as a program. You're not making any steps forward. James Weekly said a minute ago.
He's not getting tickets, right?
Well, he said that, this coaching staff has ruined Garrett Green. Or we touched on that earlier. It's not just Garrett Green. It's every quarterback that
video. Check out that video on the channel we did about it, grades and stats to support it. West Virginia quarterbacks regressing under Neil Brown, every single one, back from the beginning.
And it's sad. It really is sad because we have had some quarterbacks that really have shown promise. I thought JT Daniels was going to be an absolute stud.
Hey, if you're talking a coordinator, like I said, I'm trying to stay away from the coordinator route just because personally, like I said, we went coordinator once, didn't work. We went sitting G5 head coach, didn't work. So I'd love someone with Power 4 experience. Like I said, we're going to do a list when the firing becomes official, when and if, but hopefully win more than if at this point. But hey, that go offense is interesting. I like using that in college football 25 even, and UNLV's had success with it. So their offensive coordinator is going to be a hot name around college football. I'd rather have him more than Barry Odom personally, but Barry Odom's the one people have been saying from UNLV, but I don't think that's going to happen with either one really. But hey, it's an interesting name. I like it, Jeremy. Appreciate you tuning in, man. Appreciate everybody that's hopping in here. So right now, you guys have hopped in for these watch parties throughout the season. I know this one sucks with people down. I know Matt Dick said he's turning off the game, and I understand that. Don't blame you. But that's why we still keep them going throughout the whole game. People even not even watch the game will still try and do a little play-by-play and such year throughout the game in its entirety regardless. But we've really enjoyed these throughout the year, man. We'll keep doing them next year. We'll do one for the bowl game if the Mountaineers end up in that and getting that done or whatever. And we really had fun time with the watch-alongs, buddy. Hey, Locked On West Virginia, what's going on, man? Hey, we talked briefly about it earlier. I need to pull up the actual quote, but it worried me, man. But prior to the game, because I thought that it was feeling pretty much I was going to be more surprised if he returned than if he was fired. But then after I saw Ren's comments, it worried me. But then after this performance, I'm like, I don't know if that matters now at this point. After you put on this type of showcase, how can you?
I mean, Taj
Brooks takes off again for 20 plus more. Shout out, my fantasy team's living.
I was going to say, shout out to Cruz because Cruz is. I mean, he can't be mad at Taj Brooks doing well. His fantasy team is absolutely on cloud nine right now.
I'm in the championship game of our college fantasy league, and Tosh Brooks is my running back. So that's the good side of this for me. And but I don't know, man. Like I said, it does worry me that there is a chance that I think Neil Brown could come back now. I'm a little bit worried about that. Anthony Wilson with an interception, I believe, for the Mountaineers. Oh, unfortunately, the Texas Tech receiver is down, but a positive play for the West Virginia defense, first one of the game.
All right.
But then this performance also makes you wonder. This has to play a factor into Ren's decision. So. We'll see, man. But I appreciate you hopping in, Paul. Appreciate you, man. Locked On West Virginia. Best coverage of Mountaineer sports you can get, guys. Be sure to go there, subscribe, check out the daily videos. Paul does awesome. I'm always checking them out every day. If I don't get to check them out live, I'm always on the playbacks, and you guys need to be on there if you're not.
It's one of those jam interceptions.
Yeah. He, I mean, the tight end Conyers there had that one, and then Wilson not only made the hit, but then jarred the ball loose and called it as he tackled him.
Yeah, good
Conyers,
play.
and there was a big hit there.
A rare, nice play from WVU today.
Finally. Michigan
Yeah,
with the
Eric.
pick is Matt Dix. Is it still 10-10? What's the score there, Matt?
My screen.
Oh, you got it up, Steven?
I have it up, but I just realized it froze. I'll have you score in just a second.
Yeah, still 10-10, Matt Dix said. No, I don't think we'll get Jimbo Fisher. I mean, he may be a candidate, James, but I'm saying no because I want to speak that into existence because I'm not a fan of Jimbo Fisher.
The thing with Jimbo for me is why would Jimbo take this job? I mean, I love West Virginia with all of my heart, and I hope that we could get a top level, candidate as head coach. I know Cruz isn't that high up on him, but why would Jimbo come to WVU? He's already getting $75 million to sit on the couch.
Well, that's
right now.
the argument for him too. Is they're like, well, we can afford him. We can afford him because he doesn't need the money. Which I understand that argument, but I'm like, why would you want him?
Well, yeah, right. Like, I mean, he had recruiting class. He's basically the John Calipari of college football.
And he couldn't win.
He has the top level recruiting class every single year, and you can't do anything with it. So why are you going to come into the Big 12 conference and be able to do something magically with West Virginia when you couldn't do it at Texas A&M?
Yeah, at West Virginia, where you have to do more with less, and he did less with more.
Right.
Texas A&M. West Virginia close to converting a first down.
I mean,
Gene White's run.
I mean, you talk about Rich Rod and the hard feelings that a lot of this fan base has towards him in the past, and how he left this university. Jimbo doesn't have a good track record of the way that he leaves universities. Cruz is big on this Rich Rod train. I wouldn't be mad that it happened. I don't know that I just don't know that he's my top candidate right now.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if he's my top either, but I mean, I wouldn't be mad about that one if that was.
Absolutely, yeah, I wouldn't be mad. I'd like to give him a chance to at least right the ship. Come home, go out on a better note than what you left the last time, and kind of get some of that sour taste out of the.
That would be like a storybook ending. We've been in the Big 12, haven't been able to succeed. He comes home, leads us to a Big 12 championship game before he retires. Boom. Storybook for him, storybook for us. Finally get to a Big 12 championship game. Good win-win for all. We don't have to go back over my theory earlier, my dream scenario of the Blaine Stewart, Bill Stewart, Rich Rod connection.
I don't know. You got my wheels turning now. I don't know. I really wouldn't mind to see that. That would. I'm a big believer in how the universe speaks, and I think the universe talks in mysterious ways sometimes. So that would be incredibly ironic if that were to play out that way.
Facts. Jaheim for 1 there after picking up 8 on the toss. So it's 3rd and 1 for WVU. Milking that clock, like I said, at least let's get this thing over with. Getting this thing down near 5 minutes left in the 3rd. West Virginia just running the football at this point. They gave him the first, actually. 1st and 10 for the Mountaineers. Now they'll go to the air.
Try to maybe go deep
twice.
And dump it off
to the right. Hits Jaheim for about 3 yards. Nope, they'll mark him out of bounds. Incomplete. 2nd and 10.
West Virginia's tried to go deep a few times today. Camera hasn't shown it from our angle, but you got to believe they just can't get anybody open on that backside. They keep having to either dump it off or take the loss on a sack.
And I just hate the fact that, any sweeps, any screens, anything we've tried to run, get out on the perimeter where we can get our guys in space, which is what we need against Texas Tech because they're, like I said, poor in the Big 12 in tackling, 2nd worst tackling grade in the Big 12 according to PFF. And every time we've done that, our blocking hasn't been there. It's like our guys aren't even trying. Day Farmer in motion here on 2nd and 10. Motions back out on a return motion. Fake it to CJ and a screen to Day. The blocking's not there really yet again, but he's able to make people miss because he can make you miss in a phone booth. So maybe that's the guy we need to throw to if the blocking's not there today. He makes 4 out of nothing.
Well, I mean, even still, you go right back to that play again. I mean, it's a different rendition of it or a different variation of that play, but still it's the swing pass. It's finally positive, but you only get 4 yards out of it. But I don't know. I just don't. The offensive play calling has just become so bland.
Well, I think that this shows West Virginia's offense has issues this year because Texas Tech's defense has been bad this year. West Virginia's not able to do a thing today.
CJ off the left side and totally misses him.
No one covered CJ.
Wide open out there.
That's the issue with Green, man. He just doesn't see the field well as far as progressions in the passing game.
And look, man,
he gets a first down. He gets a first down.
Right.
For that.
I'm not hating on the kid at all. Like I love Garrett Green to death, but I don't know. The system of the offense does not fit his style of play whatsoever, in my opinion.
No. Hey, I see my mom in there. Thanks, Mom. Love you too. My mama in the chat.
Yeah, thank you. That's awesome.
Was that 20-yard gain right there? 15-yard gain to Day Farmer. Hey, good stuff getting him involved in here at least. Getting to see him work. Some of the freshmen. Hopefully he sticks around.
Pass.
Set up a screen there in a stacked formation to CJ.
Like I said, just keep going back to the swing pass until it works.
Exactly like he predicted. He said, if you go to it
all game.
He said if you go to it 16 times on the 15th and 16th, it'll work.
That magic number 15th time. You know what I mean? It always works out for us.
Right. Strong run there from CJ, though, after the catch, setting West Virginia up in the red zone or near the red zone. I guess we're on about the 28 here. Ends it with a stiff arm. Day Farmer in motion here this time. Will he take the jet sweep? No, but it's a fake, and Green keeps it himself. 2nd and 9. Time for Brown to go indeed.
I mean, I just hope West Virginia – I'm just hoping for a West Virginia touchdown, at least one.
Yeah. I mean, can we at least get over the end zone here in the final game of the in the regular season? We'd like to at least see that. Chad Scott on the sidelines mentioned he was a Broyles Award nominee this year, actually. That was announced this week. Second and 8 for the Mountaineers. Used most of this third quarter clock here on this drive. Green over the middle.
Robinson.
Got him. Is that, J-Rob. Picks up about 11 there on 2nd and 8. West Virginia into the red zone now, officially, with a fresh set of downs. Clock winding down to about 2.5 minutes left in the third quarter. Hoping to finally put a touchdown on the board, getting absolutely slaughtered here, 42-3 in Lubbock.
I'll tell you right now, Matt Dix, I know that Gigi hadn't been good this year, but I would say that he's better than Jared Deggy.
Yeah, I'd still probably agree with that.
Put him over Jared Deggy.
Just because he brings that explosiveness to the run game that, is a different element. Right. Deggy's a better passer. Yeah, I'll give you that, though. Deggy's a better passer.
Sometimes.
Yeah, he was just inconsistent. Green on a fade. There's Rodney Gallagher. Yes.
Yeah, a catch.
He hang on to it.
He hang on to the ball after some of the. This has been some
that's a
weird
moment.
game in terms of.
Haven't had many of those.
Haven't had many of those.
Take these when we can get them. A dab moment.
Right back in it. I think obviously we should all agree that Neil Brown should stay because of that touchdown now.
Don't get me started. But hey, second straight game, the slot fade to Rodney Gallagher's produced a touchdown. That's on Baskerville. The good Texas Tech defensive back has 4 picks on the year, had one earlier in this game that was his 4th. But Rodney Gallagher makes a play, man.
Rodney's
second straight game, a slot fade touchdown.
Rodney's one of those players, too, that West Virginia's going to go for 2 here.
3rd touchdown of the year for Gallagher. Yep, under center, Green, play action. It's a throwback pass to Wyatt Milam. Okay. Yeah, Neil Brown is 100% knows that he's done. He's just trying to get everyone involved.
All right, so that's where we're at now.
That's the end of the era. That's it, boys. A screen pass to Wyatt Milam. But shout out to Wyatt Milam getting a reception in his career. At least I like it for Wyatt, who's a future potential first rounder. That's funny.
I have so many questions that just took place there. I don't know how to really digest that. I mean, I guess you got to offset the touchdown somehow if you're Neil Brown. You're like, hey, man, we just did something awesome. We got to offset that somehow. Shit.
Oh, man, that's good. Let's pull up the scores here while it's the commercial break. West Virginia at least got into the end zone, though.
Still 10-10 Michigan, Ohio State.
Yep, still 10-10 Michigan with the ball. Late third quarter. Tennessee's pulling away from Vandy now. 31-17 there. Clemson and South Carolina still close. About to head into the fourth. 14-7. Clemson up with the ball to start the fourth. Louisville all over Kentucky 34-7. Duke and Wake tied at 17. Baylor up big, 42-17 on Kansas. Two of the hottest teams in the conference beating there, and Baylor is continuing their hot streak. I believe this will be 6 wins in a row for the Bears. That'd be big time there.
String of wins they've pulled off. That's kind of wild. After Aranda was on the hot seat.
Yeah,
a lot more than Neil Brown was coming into
then
this.
Things started. They changed QBs to Robertson, and Spavital's offense started clicking, and they've been good ever since.
Baylor is either really, really bad or they're really, really good. There is never any in between them.
Well, I mean, this year they're kind of in between.
Not really. I mean, they
started really
bad, and then they got really good.
So their record ends up in between.
So they could be both in the same season, I guess. It's just.
And then the other score really that's notable was UTSA and Army. Army's up 22-17, battling there in the fourth quarter. Keep trying to update those scores throughout because got to have some other things to talk about when the game is going so shittily as it is today, unfortunately.
Definitely not a fun topic to talk about the game today, for sure.
Zach says next coach ideas. Yeah, we were talking about it a little bit earlier. We're going to try and do a video on it once they move from Neil Brown becomes official, which hopefully that's in the next 24 to 72 hours. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. But we were talking, Power 5 experienced guys. Really is at the top of my list, anyways. The Rich Rods, the Dan Mullins, Chip Kelly. Maybe go reach out to him at Ohio State. Different things like that. Who I want. But there's some other coordinators I'd like as well that would be candidates. Kodal Nicky, Glenn Schumann, of course, the defense coordinator there, Georgia. Some others as well. Of course, like I said, when we do a video, we'll have plenty of candidates and more research into it.
I just noticed something really off topic, but we talked about the way that the new field design at WVU is going to be and how the blue and everything. If you look at their offense, their turf, it's like that. Their end zones are black. They have the out of bounds border, and then they have black that goes on beyond that.
So you're just saying. So you're saying the guy at Purdue just didn't have good awareness. Basically, is what you're saying. His awareness.
One level college football, then you better have that much awareness.
So you're saying his awareness would be like a 15 on the game.
I'm saying that if you think the end zone is 15 yards deep instead of 10 yards deep, then that's an issue on you, and you should handle that in practice.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Hey, Reed Carrico with a good hit on special teams there. Stopped the returner short of the 20. 2 minutes left in the third. Texas Tech getting the ball back up 42-9 with another commercial break here.
Dan Campbell. Hey, listen, Dan Campbell's about to win him a Super Bowl this year, so there ain't no way he's coming back to college football or coming to college. I don't think he ever coached college football.
A Dan Campbell type, like a Dan Campbell-esque, that'd be great. Like somebody that type of
his level of passion. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't help but root for somebody like Dan Campbell. I mean,
I know a guy. I know a couple guys. I know a guy. His name is Richard.
Yeah.
Because, put a little bit more hair on the helmet, lace shoes up a little bit tighter, all that stuff.
Hey, listen, our middle school coach tried to do that one time because he I guess knew verbatim the pregame speech. It was the most awkward thing in the world as a middle school football team to do. I mean, it's awesome in college. I mean, they probably got really hyped up in pregame when he heard Rich Rod do that. I would have, but it was really awkward.
Hey, James Weekly says, Jordan, you should go coach WVU and say, yeah, man, hire me. Go ahead. I can probably win about as many ranked games as Neil Brown. Take down 3 ranked teams. I feel like I get it done. I'm pretty good on college football 25.
I think that Cruz would do just as good as Neil Brown has done.
Hey, man. I've been an experienced college football video game player for a long time. So,
hey, we just talked about that earlier. Somebody in here said that Mike Leach never played college football, and he was probably one of the greatest college football, at least offensive minds, to ever coach the game.
So you're saying I should follow in his footsteps and take my shot?
I'm saying there's a chance.
Oh, that's good. That's good stuff. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all being in here, having a good time with us, joking, laughing along as we have to discuss some other things. West Virginia's taking this beat down. But hey, if you are in here live, or even if you're watching this after on the playback, be sure to hit that thumbs up button real quick. Give us a like on the video. That helps come with the algorithm. And be sure to subscribe here for future WVU football content. Obviously, recruiting stuff's coming up. We're going to be live on signing day, covering the signings as they come in. We'll have that going. We'll have transfer portal news and, of course, coaching news as well. Potentially, sounds like we're going to have that on the horizon to talk about. So be sure to subscribe here to get all that. Those are the fast, easy, and free ways to help us out. And if you want to support us monthly, you could do that as well by becoming a channel member here, where you get bonus content. You see some people in the chat there that are channel members. They got the WVU helmets beside their name. They also have access to custom emojis. They get player grades videos, snap counts, game rewatches, film reviews, depth charts, all kinds of good stuff there. So if you want to support us that way, you can. And if you're a big-time WVU football fan, it's a great way to get extra content throughout the season and, of course, into the off season as well.
And Todd Brooks going to take an 8-yard gain. Their average yards per play today is probably at least around 8 or 9 yards. It has to be.
Yeah, I think I've seen a halftime. It was 8.2, and I don't see anything they've done to make it really any lower. So, Taj Brooks, 138 yards, 3 touchdowns on 15 totes right now. And there he goes again, breaking another nice run. Oh, he slips down, luckily, because he may have hit another cutback and got even more than what he got there. So they have a 300-yard passer, running back that's about 150 now. I mean, doing whatever they want offensively. You can tell why this is one of the top offenses in the conference and in the country. And West Virginia was going to have to score with them to have a chance, and they just have not matched it at all. Brooks picks up 2 that time. West Virginia swarms to him on their 2-yard gain.
We expect about somewhere around 30 to transfer out, James.
Yeah, it's going to be a big mass exodus, and that's with or without the coaching move, with revenue sharing coming up and stuff. There's going to be new roster limits and things like that. So teams across the country are all going to have a lot of transfers this season. It's going to be a crazy transfer cycle, which is another reason why it's great to follow here. We'll be covering the transfer portal news for WVU.
The way this is looking right now, there's going to be plenty of news to cover also. So.
Yeah, Matt Dix, I think that Andy Kotelnicki's one of the top coordinator candidates. If you're talking candidates that are currently coordinators looking to move up to head coach, Kotelnicki's got to be
has plenty of experience playing against him, and he's got plenty of experience coming to Morgantown. So,
yeah. 3rd and 4, looks like Mountaineers have good coverage initially, but they drop 8 there, and Morton scrambles out then on the scramble drill, finds Josh Kelly, who's got to be close to 100 yards receiving now. He was over 75 at halftime, and there's another big play from him. And he's made those all season, guys. He's, nearing 90 catches on the season now, I believe. Morton's over 300 yards at 326. They'll get one more snap off to end the 3rd quarter.
Going to go back to Tharp, it looks like.
And the completion there.
No, not Tharp.
No, I thought it was Tharp too. It's a different receiver. I don't think that's the guy's first catch, number 8 there. Don't know who that one was, but picks up about 5. So it'll be 2nd and 5 for Texas Tech to start the 4th quarter. Already up 42-9, but deep in West Virginia territory one more time. Maybe a 50-burger day for Texas Tech, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Like I said, the only silver lining of this, guys, is, let's hope that we can expect a coaching search after today.
Silas, I don't think you should feel bad about this, because I think a lot of Mountaineer fans probably feel this way, despite the fact we were cheering and hoping to win this game. A lot of people probably find this kind of actually bittersweet because, as Silas says, it's a weird feeling because he wants Brown gone so bad that the small sacrifice of getting blown out is almost worth it. And I think a lot of Mountaineers would agree with that. But
I would have argued against that kind of logic a few weeks ago, because I've even had people all the way back to last season that rooted at the beginning of the season for Neil Brown to lose as many games as possible so that he would be fired. And I'm like, well, that's some logic, because you're rooting for the team to lose, whereas if he was winning, what would be your problem? You know what I mean? But I mean, like after 6 seasons of this being the way that it is, for this season to have gone the way that it has with the talent that we've had, and then Ren Baker to make those comments on 24/7 Sports, I'm kind of on your side of the fence. You know what I mean? That's why I keep saying I hate watching this happen. Absolutely. But it's the only silver lining I can gather is hopefully this points them in the direction of getting a new coach.
Let's hope so. Alex Connor, appreciate you, man. He says number 8 is Coy Aiken. Appreciate that. I've been waiting to hear from him. I'm surprised that we haven't heard from him with as much offense as Texas Tech has put up. Aiken, as I talked about in the preview show this week, Texas Tech's leader in receiving touchdowns, 6 on the season, has 557 yards. So multiple receivers that can do damage. And now we've seen all 3 of them hurt us. Kelly's hurt us all game. We saw the big touchdown from Douglas, and then Aiken with the reception there. Appreciate that, Alex Connor, as Texas Tech drives deep into Mountaineer territory here, as we're going to start the 4th quarter. Shouldn't let Neil on a plane back home, Dad said, but I appreciate that. Yeah. Give him a moped to ride back. Yeah, Dumb and Dumber style. Put him on that thing. Yeah. Yeah, man.
He definitely hasn't earned a ride back. I'll tell you that.
I don't see how at all now you could potentially bring him back after this type of performance. I really don't. I'd be really surprised if Neil Brown's West Virginia's coach in 2025 at this point. But I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. We'll see what happens. 29 points you gave up in the second quarter. That's unbelievable.
It's unacceptable.
Indeed. All right, 42-9, Texas Tech to start the fourth. 2nd and 6, quick hitter there, play action. Little stick route into the slot, gets about 4 or 5. 3rd and short for Texas Tech, and it's Josh Kelly again. He's flirting with 100 reception year, man, if he keeps getting catches like this throughout this game. Hey, how many do you have coming in this game? 80 plus? 81? Or right at 80? Which is number 2 in the Big 12, I believe. There he is again, Josh Kelly.
Going to take it all the way down to the 2-yard line.
Thought he was going to go. Anthony Wilson with a shoestring tackle to keep him out of the end zone at the 3. But it looks like Texas Tech will extend this lead. And like I said, could be a 50-plus point performance West Virginia's given up yet again, unfortunately. And it would be Texas Tech's 5th game of the season where they scored 50-plus.
They're just doing whatever they want to our defense right now. I mean, they just no effort. And that's part of the problem.
Yeah, Chris Mitchell, the colleges playing the players goes into effect next season, the revenue sharing. That's why everyone's expecting a lot of transfers.
1st, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot new roster limits and such. The players are going to have to transfer from multiple programs and such.
Be interesting to see how that's handled through college basketball, because college basketball runs through, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
with it happening in the middle of the season, I'm curious to see how that plays out. I'm sure it's not going to change anything drastically, but
WVU stops Taj Brooks finally there and forces 2nd and goal, but Texas Tech's already over 500 yards of offense and looking to get in the end zone here. They're inside the 5-yard line. 2nd and goal. They're going back to the Wildcat. Both times they've done this has been Taj Brooks touchdown runs.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if Taj Brooks throws this ball though, because we're probably expecting the run. They might sneak something out for him.
Is also in there though, isn't he?
He's out there, split out there. The tight end Conyers is right there in the back. It's the tight end and Brooks there when they go in the Wildcat.
Yeah. False start.
They may get out of that Wildcat now because that's going to put them back near the 10. Maybe good for us because with the success they've had in that Wildcat today. Because I think that's why they've caught us off guard with this, because the tight end acts like he's going to be the one taking the snap, but they've snapped it to Brooks both times.
Yeah.
So 2nd and goal from the about 9.5-yard line. They will hand it to Brooks instead. Bounces it outside, lowers his shoulder, and gets inside the 5. Probably pretty close to where we originally were there on 2nd and goal for this 3rd and goal play. Under 13 minutes to go in the game. Where the outcome is already decided. We're just winding the time down and seeing what the final score will be at this point. Third and goal for Texas Tech. They may try and punch this in even if they don't get it. Who knows? But they'll split Taj Brooks out. They're going 5 wide here for Baron Morton on 3rd and goal from the 4. And a wide open receiver, Josh Kelly. Oh, he kicked
touchback.
I think it's incomplete. I don't think he ever had it.
It's close to being a possession and a fumble.
Man, you don't ever see Josh Kelly drop passes, especially not wide open ones like that. That was an easy touchdown for Texas Tech.
Oh, yeah. I guess he was bobbling the most of the time. It did look like for a slight second, it looked like he had possession.
Because I watched after this first bobble, right there, you thought he had it, and then he just never did. So 4th and goal, looks like they will kick the field goal as see the receiver coming off the field there. West Virginia's forced 3 field goals. The only problem is they haven't scored touchdowns when they've had opportunities. They haven't done anything with the ball on offense. That's why they're down 45-9 now after the kick goes through. Just over 12 minutes left in the game. Still 10-10, I see.
Yeah, I was just looking at
Michigan
that.
with the ball. Let's do another score update here. Let me pull up those again while we're on this other commercial break while I wait for this nightmare of a football game to end. Yeah, Michigan is deep into Ohio State territory onto the Ohio State 14-yard line. 10 minutes left in the fourth. It's currently 10-10, but like I said, Michigan driving. Tennessee still up 31-17 on Vandy.
Ooh, Michigan tried to run a reverse play to the receiver to throw the ball downfield, and Ohio State purposely did a pass interference.
To stop it from a touchdown. And Clemson up 14-7 on South Carolina. What other do we have? Duke Wake 17-17, 3 minutes left in the game. Baylor pretty much decided over Kansas 45-17, 6 minutes left. UTSA and Army. Army is pulled away 29-17 with 10 minutes to go. Looks like Army will get another win. And that's pretty much all we've got going on right now with this early slate of games. But a little score update for you guys that are in here live.
Again, how about that basketball team, eh?
Yeah, the men's team and the women's team. They're awesome. Shout out to them.
You got to take the positives where you can get it. And after, we say that, but, after what the past 6 seasons have been in football and what last year was for basketball, and we don't have to go into any great detail about that, it's definitely enjoyable to have something to root for like that. And as fun as they are to watch.
Facts, they are. I do like the style that they play. Last, a little bit in this tournament, it was the first time I really got to watch them. I've had to listen on the radio for the rest of the season, but man, they really, really are fun to watch. A lot of good scores.
Yeah, we appreciate that, Alex. Yeah, man, you definitely haven't had any offensive issues all season. We've been high up on that all year.
Well, the thing I feel about for you guys is, but shout out to your defense for coming out and performing this game. We did share all season that we both had poor defenses, but this game, your defense actually showed up. But I feel for you guys because you guys are going to have a good season here, finishing off 8-4 now, right?
Yeah.
But the bad thing is they had 3 conference losses, and they beat Iowa State and Arizona State, who look like they may play for the Big 12 championship game, and Texas Tech beat them both. So that has to hurt as a fan. But you guys had a really good year. I'd love to be, in your shoes, 8-4, having beat some top teams, because at least your coach has shown that he can do that. That's one of the issues with Neil Brown. All of our wins are against teams that are always either losing records on the season or at best 500. We don't ever beat any winning teams. Point right here against you guys. You guys are a winning team, and we're getting slaughtered. You look at our conference wins this season. Yeah, we had a good conference record, but we played a lot of teams that didn't have good records. You look how UCF ended, how Cincinnati ended, Kansas, all of those.
Yep. Neil Brown he's a proven non-winner. When it matters
in the big games, man. And after 6 years, if you never won a big game yet, man, I don't think you're going to just magically do it in year 7.
Yeah, with a younger roster for the most part that you're going to have. This was last year. Really was the year that our team was supposed to have it all together and be that and to have it all. This year was really the year. So I don't know how in the world you expect them to come back next year with a younger roster. And a lot more turnover because we fully expect at least 30 turnovers or 30 transfers in this class.
And look at this here. Let me show this on the screen really quick for a second, guys, because this is the last time Neil Brown played in Lubbock against Texas Tech. 48-10, down 45-9 now. I mean, you want to tell me that the Neil Brown era is not more of the same throughout these 6 years? There's your proof in the pudding right there. Yep. Never won at Lubbock and similar results.
Push the pile forward. There we go. All right.
Okay, big run there.
Who's going to share,
get. That's what I'm talking about. Jaheim White with a good run, and then the all O-line pushed him for 15 more yards?
Yeah.
Yeah, got to go. I agree, Dad. 100%.
Over the middle, gosh. And see, it
looks like that they've given up too.
That right there is a prime example. That pass to Justin Robinson there. Another prime example of what I don't like in Gigi's passing game. He hangs that thing out there and puts his receivers in a lot of positions to get hurt.
Penalty on the Mountaineers anyways. Doesn't even no count.
Inadvertent anyways.
Hey, but you know what Neil Brown will say, don't you? Credit to Texas Tech. They were just a better team today.
We're
Outplayed us.
6-6. We're not 0-10.
Yeah, we're 6-6.
Hey, the
We're not
weather
0-10.
was nice, other than the wind down there. I'm sure their
Didn't
fans
love
had good tailgating.
But
That's
credit
what it's about.
credit to their game plan. Credit to them. They did some good things that we weren't prepared for. They did some things different than what they showed on tape. Credit to them. They're a good team. Credit to them. They were the better team today.
There you go, guys. Y'all don't even have to watch this post-game press conference now. You done got them full.
That's it. Jaheim White on the pass out of the backfield gets some of the penalty yardage back there. Gets it back to second and about 10 or so.
Yeah, at least the weather was nice.
Yeah, at least the weather was nice. Yeah, I'm sure that there was good tailgating there in Lubbock for people that went to the game. What's like the longest yard? The team is trying really hard, guys.
Yeah.
The players are doing their best out there. 2nd and 12 for the Mountaineers. Less than 11 minutes to go. Right on midfield this time from the 50. Trailing 45-9. Looking to put a second touchdown on the board. Woohoo! Jaheim White runs it for about 5-6 more. 3rd and medium here. 3rd and 6.
I mean, with the way West Virginia's running their offense right now, it looks like they're more trying to run clock than they are trying to.
Yeah. Neil Brown's like, my career here is done. I'm trying to wrap it up.
I know that it's 45-9, but I mean, like, you just have no competitive drive.
Well, that's Neil Brown. He's like, I got 10 minutes left in my career here. Let's get this shit over with. Brandon Yates injured. Well, I hate to see that. The senior on, one of the final series here in the final quarter down. Maybe cramps or something. The best case scenario, let's hope.
Can you teach me the foosball?
Can you teach me how to foosball?
I'll teach you anything. Just don't eat me.
I broke my nose.
That's a good movie, man. I got to go back and watch that soon.
It is, man. It's got some classic scenes, dude. He said, I got the shakes that'll make you quake. I got the fries that'll cross your eyes. He said, I got the burgers. Well, I just got the burgers.
Terry Crews.
Dude, you remember the little kicker dude, Brucey or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
He said, I shouldn't eat that popcorn, man.
Shouldn't eat that popcorn. Hey, man, he's I don't know if he still acts or anything like that, but he's like on social media is like a big, super fan of the New York Yankees now.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny, dude. That guy was hilarious in that movie.
On my algorithm the other day. I don't know why.
Speaking of guys on social media, what's funny, I was watching some highlights and with Jimmy Rollins from the chat there of WVU basketball, and me and him both agreed. Tucker DeVries at times, you know who he kind of looks like? Michael Rappaport.
I can see that.
He looks a little bit like Michael Rappaport sometimes.
I could see that. Is it
Funny,
legit? Clint Moses says, legit question. Y'all prefer a new coach with recruiting ties to the South, East Coast, or Midwest? Honestly, we've had our most success when we recruit from the South. When you go down to the South Florida area, recruit that.
And borderline states like too as well. I think Pennsylvania, Ohio.
I mean, you're always going to have that pipeline with Pennsylvania. I don't think that's ever going to go away, no matter who your coach is, just because the proximity of where you're at. You obviously want to be able to recruit the better players from those areas, absolutely. But I don't know. Just in my experience, the players that we've recruited from South Florida in that area, when that's been our main pipeline, that's when we've had our most success, especially on offense.
Yeah, it's a good point. Hey, Michael, appreciate that, man. That means a lot. Another good comment here from Tech fans. Like the Tech fan base showing out with some nice comments here.
Yeah, man,
and unfortunately, that's the effect of the Neil Brown era. We're just to the point where we're kind of just indifferent now, unfortunately. But that's where we're at right now. But hopefully this is the tail end of it. We're hoping this may be the last game of it, man. But appreciate you, man. And a shout out to you guys' offense is awesome. Yeah. You guys have a really good team this year.
And I think me and Cruz could both agree. We've always been pretty respectful of Texas Tech teams because for whatever reason, man, y'all always seem to have our number. Even when we have seasons that are, we have good teams. Most notably the one that our first year in the Big 12 conference, we had Chino and Tavon and all of those guys, and y'all completely waxed us that year too.
Yeah, similar performance to this one.
Yeah, we've always had a strong respect for Texas Tech, and the teams that they bring to the table.
And when we go play in Lubbock, I don't have the best feeling. Hey, Texas Tech right now, I picked them to score 45. I had it 45-35. I had West Virginia scoring a little bit more, but hey, so far at least I'm right on Texas Tech score.
Yep.
Positives for me, and of course Taj Brooks' performance positive for my fantasy team. False start on West Virginia, 3rd and 11 for the Mountaineers now at the Texas Tech 49.
Can only hope for better days as a WVU football fan right now, though. We've had more than our fair share of, after, everybody talks about the glory years that were the mid-2000s for West Virginia football, and we've more than put our time in of dealing with the bad season since. I mean, I say we've had the Orange Bowl in 2012. You could say that, but in terms of consistency
in the Big 12, we haven't really. I mean,
right.
we haven't made an appearance in the conference title game yet. I mean, it's just not been the best yet. We're looking for a change and hopefully finally make that happen. Good catch there. What a catch there by Hudson Clement. Picks up 15 on 3rd and 11. West Virginia's drive stays alive here in the 4th. And then a give to C.J. Donaldson, who with a strong run, runs over a Texas Tech linebacker, gets about 6-7 yards.
West Virginia's offense finally showing some positive yardage and consistency and positive yardage, but I think that's just because Texas Tech has a large amount of their backups in.
Nine minutes to go. CJ runs for a first down. West Virginia driving. Maybe we'll get to see him put another touchdown on the board at least.
That's exactly right, Drum Wolf. The only way to go is up.
Just got to make that coaching change.
How ironic is it that a few years ago, Kansas was in the position that they were and West Virginia was in the position that they were. And now we're here. Or Oklahoma State.
Hand off to Jaheim. Another good. That's his like the 3rd or 4th time he's had a great spin move. He's going to go. Touchdown.
Show some life.
Jaheim hit the B button for the 2nd straight week. He did that last week. Just ended up just short of the end zone. This week hits it again. He's done that a few times this season. That spin move lethal.
Yeah.
He's got that 360 ability on CFB 25 right there. Look at that. Whoop. And then just turns the burners on right there.
Yep.
He gets past everybody else.
That guy. Good job by Jaheim.
Exciting play. That's a DAP moment.
That's a DAP.
That's a DAP.
We enjoy what we can here.
As you can see, Eric Flower says, I think there's going to be a Waterboy 2 or a Happy Gilmore. It's Happy Gilmore 2, actually. They're filming it right now. Yeah, it's going on. I'll be covering news on that and be covering that when it comes out on my other channel. I'm going to drop a link for it in the chat. If you guys haven't subscribed there, check it out. JC's Movies, where I cover movies and series. WVU going for 10.
Pass to the back of the end zone, incomplete.
Looking to get the ball to Justin Robinson, couldn't quite hold on to it. But I dropped a link to my other channel. That's what this side of that I'm on here. This is the side of the office I use for my other 2 channels. That channel that I linked there in the chat, and then the other one where I cover college football 25 on JCCFB. But if you guys are into movies and TV shows, subscribe to that channel as well. Commercial break, but the Mountaineers get into the double digits on the game. Woohoo! See, I hear Bentley barking, unfortunately. My dog. Apologies for him barking.
Yeah, I think for me, personally, just another thing that makes me mad about this game is you haven't seen that play to Dom Collins after he was as open as he was last week. You had the chance.
Unless we missed him on the broadcast being in, because I know sometimes you can't see all the receivers in the broadcast angle.
They try to run that play, and we definitely haven't seen that. So
true. I
don't know. I just think the coaching staff makes some of the poorest decisions that I've ever witnessed in the game of football, and it's atrocious, really atrocious to see. Can't talk today. And apparently, the whole analytics approach, is logical as it seems like on paper, it just does not work. When that's what you entirely base all of your decisions off of, is the analytics that you read. You still got to have some game smarts about you.
Well, I think this is proof that it doesn't work if you don't have that in-game coaching ability to go along with it.
Because analytics work until, there's 3 minutes left in the 4th quarter, and then you got to hold them, or you got to go down and make a play, or West Virginia just has the complete inability to do any of those things.
And I think it hurts Neil Brown even worse because the one thing that he was talking about as a selling point was if they won, they'd have 6 conference wins back-to-back years. He doesn't get that now. He was also talking about being undefeated on the road in Big 12 conference play. He doesn't get that now. So I think any selling points that he really had are gone out the window.
Yeah.
I just don't think there's anything to hang on to now. What is Ren Baker going to tell the fan base is the reason for keeping Neil Brown if he wants to decide to do it that could buy them back in? I mean, there's really nothing.
There's really nothing. And I mean, I've been really high up on Ren Baker. I've been even vocal about that today, about all of the coaching hires that he has had to make since he's been hired. I think they've all been good, not just good hires, but home run hires. Each of them have. So that's why I'm really excited to see who he gets in if he does have to hire somebody. But I don't know. That would be one strike against him in my mind if he does keep Neil Brown.
And I think that's
I'd be truly
valid.
shocked if he stays, though, especially after today.
Yeah. I was going to be surprised anyway, but especially after this performance, really, 100%.
And I think, one of the biggest things for me this year was not winning his home football games. I mean, he won Senior Day, but
onside pooch kick. Nope.
Texas
Tech fields it. Midway through the fourth here, Texas Tech probably try and run some of this clock here, but they may punch it in the end zone, get over 50. What a day from Taj Brooks. I don't know if we'll see him back in this one. They may go to some backups now.
Eric, I think most of the seasons under Neil Brown has been 5 to 6. Other than last year, we did finally get 9. But I mean, other than that, we've only had
we have one where we had 7, I think, maybe.
Back down to 6 and then had 9. Like, I mean, it's just not been.
No, Michael Cup. We haven't won homecoming in a while, actually. Yeah. We've been lost on homecoming for a few years now, I think.
Who was homecoming? Kansas State?
Yeah.
I believe so. And I thought that they were going to do a lot worse than what they did to us.
Yeah, I agree, Dad. Money's the only reason that you can really make to keep Neil. And I think if that's the only reason that you just got to make the move. If you want to be realistically competitive, you can't let money hinder you from, making the moves that make that happen. So I think that speaks for itself that this has to probably hopefully be the last game.
Yeah.
Backup quarterback in Will Hammond now for Texas Tech at quarterback, and he runs for a first down on a read option there up to midfield.
Which that's the thing for West Virginia. West Virginia's got to find, which I'm sure you guys know, like you got to find $20 million extra in the budget that they already were scrambling to find money. So this whole as good of a thing as it is, it's going into place on January 1st, and colleges being able to share the revenue with players. It's also hindering to a large degree for schools like West Virginia.
Yeah, good point there too. Yeah, the home games hurt, man, especially this year when we were looking at it, because we saw we had 7 home games this year. We thought that would be awesome. 7 home games. We've been doing really good at home under Neil Brown.
Yeah.
And this year it just didn't happen. And
they
really set themselves up for failure with everything they tried to sell us in the preseason about this being their best team, the best this, the best that.
Let's say that. How many seasons have we heard that from this coach? Jared Daggy was making elite level NFL throws that we've never seen before from a college.
Still always hold that one against him.
And couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
I know. And it's same thing they said about the corners this year. This is going to be the best secondary. This is the worst. It's the worst.
Deepest. And then you come out 3 games into the season and say that you only have 2 or 3 guys that you're going to be able to play at the position. I mean, like I'm tired of hearing.
We could go on with the list.
Yeah. Eric Flower said that season ticket sales are going to go way down. I'll tell you right now that
there's no way.
Bad. I know the people that sit beside us have had season tickets for 65 years and have not missed a single game. And even he's contemplating not coming back because it's so bad.
Taj Brooks gets loose for another 15, 20 yards, and they're near the red zone again. Looking to get the 50 burger. Like we said, when the fourth quarter started, we could see it happen in 50 burger, and it looks like it may happen.
Yeah.
Be the 5th time they've done it this year, scored 50 plus.
And that's the thing, if you're a school like West Virginia, that's what's terrifying about having a season like this is because then you're going to have season ticket holders, back out. They're not going to get season tickets. People are going to withhold their NIL dollars. So then you're going to be faced with even more of a financial crisis. And then, I mean, where does West Virginia go from there? It only continues to go on a downward slope because you're not able to fit the bill financially and pay the players and get the talent on campus that you need to win games. So, I mean, it just becomes, a revolving door almost.
And Taj Brooks, I'd say that's his last play there on senior day, the big run, 188 yards, which is a season high for him. Standing ovation from the crowd as they call a timeout and get him off the field on senior day there in Lubbock, and consistently being one of the best running backs in the Big 12, an awesome career. So shout out to Taj Brooks and shout out to him for my fantasy team as well.
Shout out to Cruz's fantasy team. We can all be happy about that today, I guess.
Yeah, that's the silver lining, and that, and maybe the end of the Neil Brown era are your two silver linings for the day throughout Mountaineer Nation. If you're fans of the CRW and the fans of the Mountaineers.
Oh, hard pill to swallow, man.
Oh,
it's an interception.
Tyron Bradley, I thought had a pick six right there. But I think Sean Martin may have batted at the line before he got to Tyron Bradley. I couldn't tell if it got there.
Yeah.
It was in the shadows. We talked about the shadows earlier. They're a little bit in the shadows right now. Second and 10 for Texas Tech now, up to the West Virginia 22-yard line.
Yeah, and then, talking about if the possibility of Neil Brown staying, how does that motivate anybody, or I mean, really anybody, not just in the fan base, but on the team? How does that motivate anyone to?
I don't know how it could.
Next season.
I don't know how it could, man.
I truly don't. The only positive would be able to keep, a large amount of the main recruits that you've got on campus, but.
Texas Tech runs for 5 yards, crosses into the red zone, but it's 3rd and 5. But unfortunately, Anthony Wilson down injured on the play for the Mountaineers. Just over 5.5 minutes to go in this game. Hope that he's all right here. Hate to see an injury last 5 minutes of the regular season.
No doubt. Especially like you said, he was injured earlier. Came back and was making some positive plays.
Yeah, Alex Conner, I have no idea how Taj Brooks was not a finalist for the running back award, man. I've always said, for the past couple of years, I thought he was the best running back in the conference.
Well, they just showed that stat up there earlier. He's got more consecutive games with 100 yards rushing than Ashton Gianti, and he's a Heisman finalist. So how can you make the argument that Taj Brooks doesn't deserve to be in that?
Rest in peace to a legend there, Mike Leach. I was always a huge fan of him as they do a little segment with him there on the broadcast. But, hey, speaking of, you mentioned Gianti, so who's the Heisman winner?
I still say Travis Hunter. I think, in my opinion, I think Ashton Gianti is the best running back in college football. I think he's a generational talent, but if we're talking about the best player in college football, in my humble opinion, just as a fan watching the game, I think Travis Hunter's done more than enough to prove that he is definitely the best player.
I think the interesting angle that adds to it, though, is that Boise State's been more successful. So how much of the factors that play into it versus, Colorado, who did have a good year, better than expected. But I don't know. I'd probably agree with you. But I thought somebody said it'd be cool if they could just split the trophy between the two because they both deserve it.
Which we might. I mean, the way that the argument shifts every year, we might be moving towards that kind of a model.
You never know.
You never know.
6 or 7 yard runs for Williams, the running back there. He's got a good burst, man. We've seen him a couple of times in this game. He burst through there on 3rd and 5. Into the red zone goes Texas Tech. 5 minutes down.
But see, it's just like magic. We just talked about that. The catch-22 of withholding your dollars from the university and quote unquote boycotting, that only hurts the university in terms of getting, talent and recruits on campus. I mean, the reality of the sport today is you're not going to be able to be successful without money. So West Virginia not supporting the university is only going to make them less successful in the future. So that's the only negative of that. I get why fans want to do that. I understand that completely. I think more so that it should be just a threat because the university cannot afford that, right? So, like, if the fans are very vocal about threatening that, then that would make the athletic department, you would hope, more apt to let him go. I think one of the main things for me that points in the direction of them letting Neil Brown go before today and what's happened in this game is the fact that Ken Kendricks, for those of you who don't know who Ken Kendricks is the main one person that contributes to our NIL fund and to the university. He's partial owner of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Very, very much an important and integral part of our donor system, and has a large a large say in everything. It was a matter of fact they were thinking about bringing Bob Huggins back, and then Ken Kendrick comes out and says that he's not on board with that, and they're like, okay, then we're not on board with that either. We're not
Right.
using his money.
Yeah, his opinion carries weight.
And he has been vocal about letting Neil Brown go and getting someone else in there to take his place. So that's a huge positive for me.
So good 2 plays in a row for West Virginia's defense at TFL, then a stop at the line to force a 3rd and 12, but then a pass interference when it looked like it was going to be incomplete. It's going to be a fresh set of downs for Texas Tech under 4 minutes to go and 1st and goal. And speaking of 1st and goal, with the score update, Michigan 2nd and goal on the Ohio State 6, less than 2 minutes to go. Game still tied 10-10. Michigan looking to maybe pull a shocker. Texas Tech's backup quarterback's going to get in. There it is, 50-plus points for the 5th game this year for Texas Tech. 5 out of 12 games with 50-plus points. Now, that's an offense, Stephen. Yeah. That's an offense right there.
Can't help but be. I mean, I know that it's hard to watch if you're a West Virginia fan. Trust me, it hurts me to even say what I'm about to say, but you can't help but be impressed with what Texas Tech has done all season and today.
Yeah. Well, especially today with what they've done defensively. I definitely didn't see that coming. Their defense playing as well as they did.
No doubt. You thought, if anything, West Virginia would be able to run the ball well, and they haven't even done that.
Yeah. The yardage, I mean, they may have end up with a decent total at the end of the day because some yardage here in garbage time, but they were shut down all game until then. It was well decided before West Virginia started picking up yards on the ground. 3rd and goal for Michigan at the Ohio State 4-yard line.
Michael says the fans are everything in college football. Y'all need a new coach, possibly a new AD for allowing this to happen for so long. Well, see, that's the thing. We actually
came in last year.
Right,
yeah.
We had the athletic director that hired Neil Brown and gave him his 1st extension. We nixed him, and a lot of us were kind of questioning that decision at the time, but it's actually proved to be one of the best for the university as a whole. And I think the new AD has made a good coaching hires in both women's basketball and men's basketball and volleyball. Well, I guess you could say baseball too, but I think that hire was lined up anyway. Right,
and that's why other people are thinking that this is probably going to happen and Neil Brown's going to be gone too, is because Ryan Baker probably wants to put a stamp on this like he has men's and women's basketball, like Steven mentioned there, that are looking like they're going to be really successful with their new coaches. If he can bring in the new coach that revitalizes WVU football, it's going to look really good on him, who is already looking really good as the AD. And I think that if he fires Neil Brown, a lot of people are going to love him even more.
I think if I'm Ryan Baker, with as well as you've done in your hiring, like, I would be excited about going on a coaching search for football. This would be, you know what I mean? Like, this is the one thing that people are going to pay attention to in terms of your coaching hires. So, like, you go out there, you find the guy that can bring West Virginia back to be competitive in conference play. I think it's unrealistic to think of anything more beyond that right now for West Virginia. That's what we really just want to hope for, is be back and fighting for a conference championship again.
See, every team West Virginia beat in conference, if you're watching the game, is on the right side of that screen, the bad part of the conference. Every conference team that we beat, man. Neil Brown just can't beat any good teams. Ohio State with a goal line stand right now, 4th and goal for Michigan at the Ohio State 3, still 10-10 game. Green remains in. I thought we'd see Nico for sure, but I guess where it's the end of his career in the regular season, they're going to let him ride it out. Final 3 minutes and 30 seconds here. 52-15, Texas Tech dominating the football game. It's a give to C.J. Donaldson, who gets about 4 or 5 yards. Second and 7.
That's a good question. He said, what do the fans think the WVU football needs to be successful? What would you think? What would your answer be to that question? I'm curious.
Well, I think start with the coaching staff change, because it starts at the top to change the attitude and everything of the program. Because as we talk about, what happens on the field is reflected, through the head coach, and the fact that West Virginia loses every big game and can't beat winning teams is, poor reflection on Neil Brown. So I think you got to start there. And then other than that, hopefully that reinvigorates and puts more money into the NIL, and people will start donating more. The people that are already donating donate more, and you get more people involved because they like the new hire. Because I think those are the two main things you need, is to be able to get better players with more NIL money, which hopefully that continues to climb. But I heard Brent Baker mention West Virginia doubled their NIL from 2023 to 2024 and doubled it the year before that as well. So hopefully they continue that trend. But that's definitely what I think is probably what I'd go with. What about you?
I would kind of piggyback off of that. I would kind of go along with what you said, but kind of add to it. I think a lot of people, what they forget in terms of, they think of just the athletic department when it comes to the money, and that's a large part of it. But I think for a school like West Virginia, as much as the money as you're getting in the NIL, it's kind of, the university as a whole is taking away from that in some ways, because you have a president like Gordon Gee who's put the university in such a hole financially. He's got us somewhere in the realm of $30,000 in debt, and he's scheduled to step down next year, but he's looking to leave us the same exact way that he left Ohio State, $30 million in debt. And so if you're a school like West Virginia, who struggles already to find money, like you're leaving them $30 million in debt. Yeah, it's cool that your NIL program, your NIL is doing good by itself, but if your school is only taking away from that as a whole, it doesn't really do much. So I think one of the main things, first and foremost, is to get Gordon Gee out of the picture. And I know that's kind of an off-the-wall thing to look at. But
that's happening, though, already.
Successful, or your football team can't be successful financially if your university as a whole isn't financial.
He's retiring in July or something, right?
I think like that, yeah.
So, that one's coming, at least we know that for sure. And I think hopefully the football one seems like it is too. So maybe we are taking some of those steps.
Yeah. Yep. I'm interested to see who they get in to fill that. Because I was a big fan. I was very young. Clemens place, but I like him as our president.
He was great. Michigan with the field goal, 13-10 over Ohio State.
45 left.
Yep, 45 seconds. South Carolina with the ball, trailing Clemson 14-10. Oh, wow, they just scored. South Carolina just went up 17-14 on Clemson with 68 seconds left in the game there. Some ranked games or ranked teams in interesting games. Michigan, I know, isn't ranked, but they're working on an upset of a ranked team. And then, of course, South Carolina and Clemson both ranked. They're battling it out in that rivalry game as well. Of course, this is the week where we should be playing Pitt, man. Rivalry week when we used to play Pitt this week. It was so good. Miss that.
This is the week that that game should be played. Hopefully in the future, with the way the conference landscape keeps shaking out, we can only hope that West Virginia ends up in a place where they are more geologically, it makes more sense. And with that would only bring back your rivalries that mean the most.
Yeah, agreed.
I think that the three teams that West Virginia should really be playing every single year is Pitt, Virginia Tech, and Maryland. Those are three teams that, or at least, Pitt every single year, and then interchange at least Tech and Maryland every year or something. But in my opinion, I think that's what keeps college football fans in it, is how strong the rivalries are.
Yeah, I'm glad we've gotten around getting Pitt back on the schedule pretty consistently. At least we have that, even though it's not played during this week like we'd like to see it.
Overthrows
Deep
again.
throw. Tried that slot fade that they've hit to Gallagher a couple times. Tried it here at the middle of the field to Day Farmer, but the throw wasn't really accurate from GG. And it'll be 3rd and 6, I believe, for WVU now.
Yeah.
With a minute 55 to go in the game.
See, I thought Will Greer was good. I would agree with that. I've never been of the sentiment that he was as great as the pedestal that a lot of people like to hold him up on, just because he had one game that he really lived up to the hype of what he was supposed to be. And then other than that, his defense didn't help him out at all. But
Green on a little spot route there to Hudson Clement gets just enough there to get the first down, gets about 8 on 3rd and 6. West Virginia still fighting to get some points on the board here.
Man, looked like he might be shaking up on the play.
Yeah, he took a hard hit there. He was sandwiched in between a couple of guys. Fresh set of downs for the Mountaineers, who are up 52-15. They got multiple players down here getting banged up. West Virginia still got their starters in across the board, it looks like. I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, Matt Dix, that Oklahoma State game was the one that really kind of broke my heart.
All you had to do was win that, and you're in the Big 12 title game, man.
Yep. And that's it. That Texas game was the one I was talking about. That's really the one that, that game will be talked about for the rest of WVU football history, and should be. That was truly an amazing throw.
Legendary.
But like I say, him coming out of Florida, those were the type of plays that he was supposed to be making every single game, and we really only seen that in one game. Not to say that I'm not holding anything back from him and what him and David Seals did. They were an amazing combo. But I mean, for what he was projected to be and as a quarterback, what we thought we were going to be getting, and what Dana Holgerson's offense was supposed to be giving us, you thought that, you know, he truly was going to be able to have weapons. And it just always seemed like he only had David Seals to be as consistent as he was. And then once David started getting double teamed, he had no other options.
All right. From the 37, was that offsides on Texas Tech? Looked like it, but I don't see no flag down. Little angle route to C.J. Donaldson, Texas route out of the backfield. He gets 11 on 1st and 10. New set of downs for the Mountaineers. Up to the 25, getting close to about 60 seconds left in the game here. West Virginia trying to break 20 points, as Eric said, trying hard to do.
Trying to get there.
You know, you're only down 52-15, but you're fighting hard out here. Back-to-back check downs to CJ for decent yards there. Picks up another first down. GG going to have good stats at the end of the day because a lot of these coming in, yards coming in garbage time. Yeah. Make it look better on the stat sheet so Neil Brown has something to talk about.
So the middle.
Cole Taylor open, just not an accurate throw. 50 seconds left in the game, 2nd and 10 for the Mountaineers in the red zone.
Today's been such a weird game for West Virginia in terms because you think earlier in the game you're like, well, they've just given up, but then they've still got all of their starters out with 50 seconds left and down by 30 plus points.
I don't know.
It makes no sense.
False 50 seconds start. Offsides. Was it false starter or did he jump?
Usually they don't play it. They don't. I was going to say they don't blow it dead for all sides.
Usually they don't. You're right about that. False start of the Mountaineers. Back them up a little bit there. Second and 15. Final 50 seconds of Garrett Green's WVU regular season career. Suspect he'll play in the bowl game if that occurs.
Pass over the middle of Hudson Clement, look like.
Yep. About 5. Back to the original line of scrimmage. Clock winding, 40 seconds.
23 seconds left. Looks like they're about to win the game.
Oh, wow. Yep, 1st and 10 on the Ohio State 26-yard line with 23 seconds to go. All they'll have to do is make a field goal to win it. Michigan spoiling it. And it's fitting for the way this season's been that one of the sure things throughout the season of Ohio State has been up there to the top, loses in the final week to the rival because how crazy the season's been. Winding clock goes down under 20 seconds. West Virginia finally snaps it. It's intercepted. Heading into the season.
White wide open and just completely like over
the throw.
Did he overthrow him or did he airmail it?
I think it went over his head.
I thought
it was behind him or over his head once. I don't know. But he was wide open. It should have been a touchdown. But that's a fitting end to the regular season for WVU because that's been Garrett Green's story of the season versus last year only threw 4 interceptions. This year, I believe that puts him into double-digit interceptions on the season if he wasn't already there. Yeah.
No, I still love GG. I think GG plays with an incredible amount of heart. Obviously, an undersized quarterback playing at this level of college football. I'm not going to harp on GG as much as a lot of people are going to, but he's just been put into a system this year specifically that is not complementary to his game. And for whatever reason, West Virginia's offenses look like they would be a lot better with a running style quarterback in the past. West Virginia opts to go in a different direction to where the offense would be more successful with a passing quarterback. It just points again to sorry about this glare from the screen, guys. But it just points again to the decision making from this coaching staff and how they've proven that they just don't have what it takes to make winning decisions, I guess.
It's time to move on. Michigan just took down Ohio State 13-10. I just threw it on the screen to see the end.
That one's one I didn't expect. I truly thought Ohio State was on a path this year, and Michigan didn't look like they had what it took to beat them. That's a shocker to see for sure. Yeah,
no one I think really saw that one coming overall, to be honest with you. I was trying to see what Clemson's got going on right now. Was that the final there, or what happened with the final score there in that game? I don't see it here. There it is. South Carolina beat Clemson, man. 17-14. Darn.
You know,
hate that.
Clemson is one of of those teams. I really, really, really like Clemson. I like rooting for Clemson, but I like Dabo. But I think Dabo's I don't know. He refuses to go to the transfer portal, and I think that's really showing on the field how you really kind of have to. I mean, with the way the game's changing, you kind of have to. I know why that he doesn't like to go to the transfer portal. He wants to recruit his guys, develop his guys. I mean, he also has the least amount of turnover to the transfer portal every year.
Yeah,
but you still, I don't know. I think that's one of the reasons they've been.
Yeah. Well, as Matt Dick said, that could knock Clemson out of the playoff probably potentially because Miami and SMU, maybe the ACC teams they're going to be there instead. So yeah, may very well have done that. Unfortunately,
especially with the bias that the committee seems to show towards the SEC and the Big Ten, they're going to have 7 to 8 teams in the playoff just with them. So I don't understand why expanding to a 12-team playoff system does anything besides help their conferences out. Because the way that the committee looks at it, when the Big 12 or the ACC beats up on each other, well, they're just weak conferences and nobody can win. But when the SEC and the Big 10 does it, they're competitive conferences. It makes no sense in terms of.
Dang, they started fighting after the game. Michigan and Ohio State did.
Oh yeah, they are, ain't they? Oh yeah, would you look at that?
Would you look at it? Just look at it. All right, man. Well, 6-6 finish for West Virginia.
That's right, James Weekly. At least we're not 0-12. That's exactly right.
At least we're not 0-12. That's a true newborn perspective. I'm guarantee I'm not watching the press conference yet, but I guarantee you saying credit to them probably right about now or here in a few minutes. But 6-6 finish to the season for WVU, 5-4 in conference. Stephen, I guess the question is, after this performance, is this the last game of the Neil Brown era? Have we seen him coach his last game at WVU?
I'm going to say yes. I'm in a day of manifestation, and so I'm manifesting positivity today. I'm going to say yes as the last game on the sideline.
I'll agree with you. We'll see if we're right here over the coming days, but regardless of whatever news comes out about that, we'll be reporting on it here on the Country Roads webcast. So be sure to subscribe here to the channel for all your Mountaineer football coverage, and like this video before you head out. Give us a thumbs up. That helps turn for the YouTube algorithm. And if you want to support us monthly, become a channel member where you get game rewatches, film reviews, player grades, videos, snap counts, depth chart projections, all that. And I'll have those out for this game against Texas Tech at some point next week. But we'll continue to cover the team as leading up to the bowl game with recruiting, transfer portal. As we said, any coaching news that does come about, we'll talk about here. But we'll also talk basketball. We'll try and keep live streams coming once a week because we do enjoy chatting with you guys. We've had a lot of fun with these watch-alongs throughout the season. Bowl game comes around, we'll try and do one for it, and we'll be back next year for watch-alongs throughout away games next season. If there's any home games we don't get to attend as well, we'll do those. But that's about all I've got, Stephen, man. 52-15, not too much to say there, except for, like I said, hoping maybe it's the end of the Neil Brown era. But any parting words, parting thoughts?
At least we got basketball.
Hey, that's right. That's right. Watch men's and women's. Watch the women today at 5. Hopefully they take down Boise State. They've had an awesome, amazing year. Hopefully they remain undefeated, nationally ranked near the top 10 in the country. So shout out to them. Shout out to the men's basketball team, and hopefully brighter things on the horizon for future for football in the future. We'll see what happens over the coming days, and we'll keep you guys abreast on whatever does happen here on the Country Roads webcast. West Virginia falls 52-15. They go to 6-6 overall in the season. That's how they finish 2024 and 5-5 in the Big 12. But that's it, man. Appreciate you guys. For my co-host Steven, as always, I'm Jordan Cruz. And until next time, guys, let's go Mountaineers.